So let's talk, because I want to understand what's going on. Pane list rezanu randaona reschedule remabus chivava. There's like buses. There's like, hey, we need to talk, guys,
you know
because
one
we
you know
need to
one
talk.
thing yeah, one thing that people don't realize is that us as Zimbabweans, we can fight, but deep down we really love each other. That's the point. We can fight, we can do all manner of things, but I can tell you deep down we love each other. We are Zimbabweans, we are unique people. You saw
Hulu, you have a heart of gold. You are 1 in a million.
Yeah, for me, I'm being honest with you, Shimama. I can never hate a Zimbabwean. It doesn't matter. You see this brother of mine, Tao, I see him in the space at the moment. We can differ, but you will never see me hating a Zimbabwean. That's the fact that you're a Zimbabwean. Already, I'm in love with you. Already, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't really matter. Even Advocate Nelson Chamisa himself, I'm very fine with him. I'm actually waiting for him to come back again to Chirezi, and I want to take a video, and people will be able to see me trying to speak to him. The only people who will be fighting with me, obviously, will be his bodyguards, refusing. But I'll push there, and I'll say, I want to speak to you. I've got friends on Twitter. They want to hear you answer these questions. You see, that is what I'm going to be doing.
But then,
So,
Hulu, your TL doesn't look like you love Chamisa Jawari. TL yako tells a different story.
people read things
If that
wrongly,
is
guys.
love, can I really love yo ka? I wonder kuti hatred inenge yakaita sei, because
people miss something. They miss something. They fail to understand the fact that you cannot expect Makomborero Haruzivishe to say anything positive about ZANU PF. Go to Makomborero Haruzivishe's timeline. What he posts, are you going to say that Makomborero hates ZANU PF? Are you going to say he
I'll
hates
actually
ED?
say yes. I'll actually say yes, because antari kusika asylum here ku UK. Why is it? It's because of the situation. Of course, munanenga kamaka asingatofarire ZANU. Zvinowanikwa. But the question is, can we, despite our differences, still come together and have a discussion? Because right now, the election season is upon us. You're ZANU PF, other people are Triple C, other people are in no other political party, some are in MDCT, you name it. What is it that we can say as Zimbabweans when we're looking at what's going on, and especially this issue of this Triple C rallies, the ZANU-PF rallies, and actually ZRP police response to it. We've seen a lot of their responses, and, we need to compare and contrast. Case by case, kuti iyi yakanyorwa kunzi chi, iyi iri kunzi chi, and then we can sort of come to a place where we'll be like, but what's going on, guys? Is this fair? Is this not fair? How can we make the political environment fairer and freer? But because there have been words, it's been the Triple C rallies banned. There's the word banned going around. There's a lot of other words flying around. And you can see there's a difference in the way ZANU-PF rallies are treated and those of Triple C opposition. So yeah, let's have a discussion. Let's just start the discussion off, since we already have you guys as speakers, and then we'll get the ball rolling. Feel free to start, whoever feels. Ladies first. Chimama, ladies first.
Thank you, Solani. The way we fight on these streets by Twitter, I believe is the same background. So I look at individuals that are naturally violent, and then they meet up maybe in a similar venue, and then they start the violence. Not that Chamisa says, ZANU-PF. Not that ED says, no, not ED, ZANU-PF party says, they might whisper something in people's ears, from leadership going down to the actual supporters. So if you look at how, the history of CCC, how they attack someone who says, I want out, the violence, the toxicity of going into your personal lives and so on. Imagine a person who says, and this is CCC, so now when we look at people who are working at police stations, some support CCC. Maybe they are sympathetic to CCC. Some support ZANU-PF. It's about humans and how they decide. That's what I think. And like what Hulu has just said, Kuti, we are just all Zimbabweans above all else, I think, Kuti, it's at an individual's decision. It's in a control ya Chamisa or anyone else. Let me park with that statement.
Oh, thank you so much, Chimama. Malcroc, do you want to go first? Second, sorry. Good to see you, by the way.
Hey, good to see you too. Hey, I'm just on the same side as Chimama. If you want to be violent, that's because you're a violent person. It's not because there's nothing like that. The president right now is at every rally he's enforcing that aspect of peace, and I'm pretty sure Chamisa is doing the same with his addresses and Ngachita. And then when it comes down to individuals, if you got that violent bone in you, not tolerance because somebody's ideas differ from yours, no problem yet. Otherwise, it's all the same. It's an individual perspective, and then mob mentality. Kind of one tanga violence, kind of they feel entitled to because this is one of our own persons. It's all about rooting out who is starting this violence. Those people need to be prosecuted and face the law as it is prescribed.
I hear what you're saying, but then I think there are a lot of people who kind of feel like there are certain, violent. Okay, let me give you an example. There's that type of violence, Yoguti, like right now, if we're talking about the way like our leaders use words, Panamima words that actually can push people to react a certain way. And the same leaders who say such words, you don't hear them saying, don't do that. Like you don't hear them say, Musadaro, that's not how we handle things. They go quiet, and it's like, I feel like there's a triggering language that keeps being used. And then people would definitely respond, those who respond violently, to it. And you don't have that kind of aspect where the leaders then come back and say, well, don't do that. So can you also then not say that the leaders are culpable? Because, with great power comes great responsibility. I was taught to believe that. So in your words, in the words that they utter, wouldn't you say you would expect them to be the first people who would come and say, I want to school violence? But I don't see even I want to see the president. I want to see the VPs. I want to see the opposition, everyone advocating for peaceful kind of election, because the moment you start to feel like the past elections, which were violent, which is what I don't want to see. So what don't you think the leaders have responsibility, Naima Krok?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, anyone can. Go ahead.
Okay, so we saw a picture, President Edi na mayor of Harare Mafume, and everybody's saying, when these guys meet up in parliament, there's a pub in the parliament, and these guys, talk together, they drink together, they just interact together. But per ground, I think for every party, it's important to keep your followers or your supporters hyped up against the opponent. It's a game to them. And akataura akati, guys, musaita violence. Then, aizobude iri relevant party yacho inenge ichinzi musaita violence. So I look at a group of mature people that are like kids. Boys will always be boys. They play rough, and when it gets too rough, people then say, ZANU-PF iri kuuraya vanhu, yakuwadza vanhu, vaita sei. You don't know kuti fight chichaita kuti itange or what have you, but because I feel that vanhu ve-CCC, this is what I think. I feel that vanhu ve-CCC, majority of them, they are on Twitter. They can then quickly post the pictures and blame. So, when there's a criminal offense, we actually politicize it. We don't allow the police to take charge, although people say, corrupted, whatever. Saka, it's tricky. We can't have my leaders anenga achiti like zvaizvezvi. They will say, musaita noise, we speak peace. But behind the scenes, Chinenge chitotsva ground.
Yeah, very, very, very true. We have said that, actually, Mama, I liked the example you gave of the president hugging the mayor of Harare, Jacob Mafume. In reality, that is what we want. I know that, yes, we can gain political capital from that picture. And, well, some of us in ZANU PF, we can, of course, say, guys, look, you come back home, because everybody came from ZANU PF. We can do that. We can use that. But in principle, and those in the opposition might also say, why did he allow himself to be taken, a picture like that with the president smiling and things like that? But I can assure you, the more we see pictures like that, imagine if you could see Nelson Chamisa hugging somebody else from ZANU PF, let's say Tafazo Mgwadi, and they smile at each other, they talk at each other. It does send a very good message of peace among ourselves. So what we post on social media, what we tweet on Twitter, is obviously based on our position in terms of I'm ZANU PF and the other one is CCC. You cannot expect a person from CCC to tweet positively about ZANU PF. You can't expect that. Neither can you expect somebody from ZANU PF to tweet positively about the Citizen Coalition for Change. We are in election season. At the end, when we meet, say, for example, on these Twitter spaces, that's where we give each other the facts. We speak to each other, we laugh together, and all that. At the end of the day, we are Zimbabweans. We are Zimbabweans, and we must be able to respect the fact that our country must move forward, and we all want to see Zimbabwe doing that as a country together. So there is nothing that is going to separate me from another Zimbabwean when we are always like in touch with each other. But it will be very tough to expect a person like Makomborero Haruzilishe or a person like Cecilia Chimbiri. I'm talking about people that we follow each other on Twitter. Do you expect them really to post positively about ZANU PF? They won't, until perhaps when the elections are over. So there's still life after these elections, and we life goes on. Life goes on. So yes, Bosalani, life goes on. And the police themselves are human beings as well. Police are human beings. They know who is in power. The police know who is in power. They know it is ZANU PF that is in power. I would not blame the police when they give more rules to the opposition. Because in the event that the opposition goes off track, the police will get fired by the party which is in power. The party which is in power is ZANU PF. ZANU PF expects the police to what? To behave in a certain way. At a ZANU PF rally, you expect that more and more people will be behaved better because they know this one is the president of the country. So you would expect that the rally is likely not going to be very much stringent in terms of rules and things like that, because automatically the president is there. You would expect people who come to see the president to behave themselves better. This is different from an opposition political rally where people who come there.
Isn't Chamisa also a president to Triple C supporters, and President ED is president to ZANU PF supporters? So my president gap.
He is, but the difference is that this one is opposing. And normally when you are opposing, you are expected to throw more stones at the one that is there because you want to replace them. So if given the chance and the police become relaxed, I can assure you, you saw what they did to Energy Mtodi. They chased the Energy Mtodi from Zaka with stones and catapults and pangas and all those kind of things. You see, they given the chance, the opposition themselves would chase all of us out of the country, given the chance. I know my friend Tao is here and others from the opposition. They will tell you that it is true. Given the chance, they actually would chase everybody out. The only reason why they behave themselves is because they know that the police will come hard on them. They know that the soldiers are going to come hard on them. So that's why you find many of the opposition political supporters behaving themselves. It is not that they want to behave. Given the chance, they want to go to State House and burn that building. Given the chance, they want to destroy. You wouldn't expect that from people who belong to the ruling party. Those who belong to the ruling party do not want to destroy anything, because then you are destroying your own political party. So you are going to
So what
see.
you're saying, sir, can I just clarify?
Yes.
So what you're
Yeah.
saying is opposition is more violent and ZANU PF is not violent.
Not
Is that sort of
necessarily. Not
because that's what it
necessarily.
sounds like,
I am
Kaulu.
saying the opposition is more prone to becoming more violent, more agitated, because they seek to replace what is there. It is the same
Yeah,
as in
okay.
the family. You
Yes,
understand? In the
I hear
family,
you.
yeah.
But remember the rally that's why it changed the Triple C rally. It's Triple C supporters. So there's no way they're gonna be violent to themselves,
But
are they?
we saw in Kwekwe what happened in Kwekwe. I mean that it was violent. You saw the videos there. You saw the videos
Yeah,
even now in
I saw
Zaka.
the video and the names of the people who started the violence were all ZANU PF. They had ZANU PF cards
Yeah,
when,
but you
when
see,
that happened.
that
So
becomes
what
an
happened there?
allegation. You see, that becomes an allegation here and there. But
No, no, no.
generally, what?
Ulu. This one is not an allegation. There were actually IDs which were posted because apparently you guys remember that, don't you? Anyway, let's hear Tim go. Do you remember that
Okay.
scenario when what happened in Kwekwe? There were IDs that were written, and many of them were ZANU PF members. Like they had, you know what I mean? So I kind of feel like, going on to what you said, Hulu, that as much as you say that opposition are prone to kind of not behaving themselves, but I hear what you're saying because you're from ZANU PF. But remember, this is a Triple C rally, so they can't be violent to themselves, and also ZANU PF, you can't be violent to yourself. And the Kwekwe incident, it wasn't Triple C people that did it. The people who were arrested were actually ZANU PF, connected to ZANU PF. But anyway, let's go to Team Go. Go ahead, my
Oh,
brother.
thank you. Yes, thank you, Silan. Thank you, Hulu, Chimama, and Mark Clock was speaking. Yes, about the Quaker incident. To be honest, I can't comment much on that. I don't know the details on that, Silan. If
No,
you
it's
have them,
okay. No problem.
but to be honest, I'm happy with what Hulu was saying in regards to us all being, Zimbabweans and wanting the best for our country, and deep down as Zimbabweans, we all love our country really, and we want the best for our country. But I think Panyaya violence, the way I see it is, I think some of the language by when Nima leaders might trickle down to supporters, and to make supporters, to rile them up and be violent against each other. And I think in campaign mode, like you're saying, yes, Oli's right. It's campaign mode, and people will be saying a lot of things. But I think that the best thing that should be happening when it's campaign season is whether you're ZANU PF or CCC, and it is you're reaching out to Zimbabweans to say this is what we're gonna do. We believe we're the best party because this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna deliver the best. Our record is this. This is Pangatring GNU Takadai. So this is been ruling party. So we'll do this for every Zimbabwean. I think the only thing that riles up opposing parties is when vanhu vachiti isusu CCC kurunzi takatora Zimbabwe before CCC, which is not right. Kana kuti vanhu vezanu vachingoti we're doing this for only for ZANU PF, but there should be accountability from both sides. And for example, ZANU PF supporters or ZANU PF people should be able to say when something is wrong, and if there's corruption, they should be able to speak out to say, you know what, we don't want corruption and this is wrong. Muna kana aita something wrong. We're gonna say this is wrong and we do not condone it. Kwete tunonzwa munhu otaura kuti munhu aba zvake but saka muchaita sei. So those are sort of statements that rile up the opposing people. What do you mean saka muchaita sei? Why can't you say kuti aiwa ningaboy ngasungi muti aiwa because ndewedu wezano hasungi. Saka perhaps not do that, but perhaps say no. If we want accountability, what is wrong. Even with the police issue and it, I think even some people PF should be able to say, who I disagree with him. Panga kuti the police should side more with the ZANU PF because they're the ruling. They should be a bit more impartial. The fact that the opposition should be given more rules. I'm paraphrasing. He said something like that. But they're given more rules against them because Varude oppose if given a chance they'll bend down the state house or they'll do things. It's a bit unfair. I mean, to say that if they are not clamped down by police and army, they'll become more violent. Saka vanofana ku almost to be, to be controlled more than the ZANU-PF supporters who are more calm because they are ruling. I don't think that's fair. I think the police and the army should remain within if they're impartial, because I think behavior police in itself is the one that's also riles up violence. When the CCC, imagine they're doing their rally, police come, they say, Chamisa, stop talking. Already, when says, but why are you doing this to us? Chamisa, but I'm there when I eat one. So by him saying that, already his supporters now thinking, so being treated unfairly. Then violence erupts, kind of Saka, the police in if they behave like that, they might seem like they're favoring one. I think impartiality for them, and then if all parties just operate in the fact like, look, campaigning, but campaigning with words that are more of unity, and the pictures of the politicians together, but even coming together, having pressers together, press conference together, it's right. Violence, we're against it. I think that's my submission on this in regards to the rallies and stuff.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tim Go. Yeah, Macro, go ahead before we check if Dr. Skumi wants to say something.
Okay, yeah. Tim Go, you bring up a good point in terms of the campaign rhetoric that happens at these rallies. When we look at ZANU-PF, right, they don't have this strategic ambiguity. They articulate what they're trying to do at their rallies, and even though the president sometimes makes jokes so that he can connect with people, right? It's a good thing. So when you articulate the reasons why you're campaigning, the reasons why you want to be in power, you spend more time giving people that than giving them an attacking rhetoric upon the other party, which is when we look at CCC, they have their rallies, right? Their strategic ambiguity, some ideas because they don't want ZANU-PF to steal them, in quotes. And so whenever they go to these rallies, it's no longer about the policies that they want to implement when they go into power. It's about removing ZANU-PF, and by that, they're just attacking. Or say, and that is the rhetoric that will lead to violence, like you were alluding to when you say the rhetoric that the leaders put out there. Saga, I think in this campaign time, we do need to focus more on the policies that we are going to be trying to sell to those people, rather than attacking the other political party, because that will reduce the amount of violence from the rhetoric that comes from the leaders. Many thanks.
Oh, thank you so much. Skumi, are you next, or we're going to Chimama? Sorry, Hulu. Skumi, are you there? Can you guys hear him? Dr. Skumi, I can't hear you. If you're speaking, maybe you've got headphones. We can't hear you.
He tried to speak there, Dr. School, but then I don't know what happened. And I would want to hear what he had to say. I was communicating with him on Twitter earlier, and he was very opposed to
I can hear him now.
Dr. School, how are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you? I hope we are.
I'm fine, thank you. I'm good, my friend. Thank you.
Sorry, guys. One of you is going to have to mute. There's feedback.
Okay. I hope you are good, Ulu. In the right. Right. As I requested, kuti toda kuita space iri right. Isina kuzotukana kana kuti musoro wambe yako, musoro wamai wako. Inenge ine zvinhu zviri zvakanaka. I hope Ulu waunza timu rako. Ndati unoya nevako vatatu. Inini vangu vatatu vachasumudza maoko. Vanobhiliva kuti vangu vatatu vasingatuke toda kuita space. So asi ushandisa masimbe kuti ndini kana kuti ani kana kuti ndani tinotora zvinhu zviri right pasina kutukana. Uchitaura manifesto yenye ZANU-PF, isu vesisi tichaura zvedu, kana vaine kwaanza kasukwere vachitaurawo zvavo. So vanobhiliva kuti varipo, tokumbira kuti you can comment kuinbox kana munokwanisa kukomenda ipapapa tokuisa pamaspika. Hatitoda kutukana, totaura zvinhu chaizvo topic chaiyo kuti tizoti musoro wamai vako, musoro wani, tiri vana veZimbabwe, hatina chatinorwira. ndakuti mangwana ihulu ndakuti ndiri pakati nonditengerawo koko kunyange ndisingamwe wawa chimama ndakuti ndiri pakati nondibikirawo tea ndouya kuzokumbira south maelections zvinhu zvekuti iwewe neni hatifaniri kurwa hatifaniri kuurayanirana maelections zvinhu zvinopfuura idi ari kukambena for basa rake but ibasa ratechida kumupinza but pekupedzisira anozotibira Chamisa ari kukambenera basa rake idumbu rake pekupedzisira achaitawo zvake saka vese vamuri kuona vari kukambena angave meya angavani isusu tisiri kuzotadza pamusana pekuti the moment yavanenge vachikampena mabasa avo zvakafanana newo paunoisa CV rako kude kuve doctor kana kuve nesi kuve muchairi kuve anything manager unoisa CV rako haurwise paCV rako you put your points kuti inini ndine experience ndakashanda pakati nepakati 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 haurwe nemunhu hauraye munhu kana uchisa CV rako so ndo zvakafanana zvatofanira kunzwisa pamapolitics kuti mapoliticians kuti vese vari kuisa maCV avo but maisiro avo emaCV vanoisa nemarari pavanenge vachiisa nemarari hatirege kushandisa mastate institutions kuti aiwa uyo ari kuisa CV rakanzi aiwa nzira dzazinazodai ndo chinangwa chacho chaari kuisira CV racho ichocho ani muri kuona so in other words police they are helping Chamisa to campaign bozi varitomuudza kuti haukwanise kufamba kuenda ikoko saka zviri kuti ambulance haikwanise kuenda ikoko handi muri kuona so ndo zvatiri kuda kuti iwewe neni ihulu uri mukoma wangu ndiri munin'ina wako uri muzukuru wangu pamwe uri muzukuru wangu pamwe muri sekuru wangu chimama uri hanzvadzi yangu tiregere kutukana paspace tiregere kutukana pamatwitter spaces nekuti tese tiri kufaitira CV remumwe wedu so isusu nenge chiti imimi nechiti idi huchi mama isi chito Chamisa huchi baba handiti muri kuona saka asi tese at the end of the day tiri vana veZimbabwe so inini ndiri team CC iuri uri team ZANU-PF zvisina kuvanzana team Tugwanda kuziva kuti uri kupi saka tiri team CC toze uri kupi
ndiri CCC zvangu
timu Salani ndi judge ari pakati nepakati anomuta mic kana taakutukana ina ndi mute Salani ndi judge saka tatu tutsvaga mumwe wechisisi wechi3 ihulu weto miri 3 topanana mukana yekupresenta mapati edu toita nama 3 minutes panana mukana kuti titenge mbvunga bhora remapo ameno Salani kana ndiri wrong ndatenda.
No, thank you so much. But Dr. Skumi, ameno kuti muri padhuze nemagadget akati wande here pari kuita ka feedback vanhu pavanenge vachida kutaura nemi apa saka ndongokumbira kuti muite muchisuduruka kure nema devices so that people can hear.
He has got 5 ghost accounts, Dr. Skumi, so
uda kumutenda yeah, guys, thank you so much. Before I go to Chimama, let's just welcome everybody who's joined the space. Thank you everybody for being here. PT, I see you. I see so many. Taurai, Pelagia, my sister, good to see you. Mama Feresu, I see you there. Good to see you. We've got quite a number of people, and this is Anapasi, ZANU. We've got ZANU here. We've got so many different Zimbabweans who've got different political jackets who've actually joined the space. It's wonderful to see each and every one of you. Apologies if I haven't mentioned your name, but I'm truly thankful for each and every one of you that has come here. Please do retweet the space so that we can have this discussion together. I feel that we've always needed a platform where citizens can come together and speak with whichever political jacket you wear. That's absolutely fine. We want to hear your thoughts on this crucial topic, which is CCC rallies versus ZANU-PF rallies, and also ZRP police responses to those things. So please do feel free. As you can see up there, I've done my best to put up the sort of responses that I've seen, correspondence coming that has come from ZRP regarding CCC rallies. You will notice that there's a lot of information there, so do take your time to read that as we are contributing, so that once we're talking about the issues, you will be understanding where we're coming from. If there are also other sort of documents that I haven't yet posted up there, please do feel free to put them on the comments box, or if my DM is open to you, you can also send them to me and I'll do my best to upload them up there so that we can discuss this crucial topic. Not wasting too much time, Chimama, please come through. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Salani. Thanks, Dr. Sku. I'm going to touch on the CCC violence in Kwekwe that Macroc couldn't address. And I'm going to be as gentle as possible, hoping Kuti I don't get attacked, but as factual as possible. So here is a situation where Salani, you were saying, how can CCC attack itself on their own rally, right? So we saw a picture of these ZANU-PF youngsters. I think they were like 8. That's Nama shirts, just really. The picture was showing us a group of violent thugs going or charging towards a CC rally. That was the picture that I saw. And after the violence, I heard Kutivan Vatema, these guys were carrying my machete and my pick, my shovels. So, then after the incident, we saw people were bleeding and they Chamisa was talking to the victims. Oh, Makwara, sorry. So when everything happened, Chamisa was speaking. And, there was a zoomed in video where one would have assumed Kudo Ostalos angadaya aripa stage na President Wavo, but Ostalos wangaripa crowd according to the video that was zoomed in. So these ZANU-PF guys in question mark in that crowd did not have mamachet, ayanga did not have my shovel, but I think knives were used because people were sliced and wakachekwa pakabudaropa and pakatofa one of the CCC supporters ipapo. Saka what we don't know now ndezvekuti mapika aitaurwa nemashavels zvakazoiswa kupi because pakazouya mapurisa and a lot of things happened. Who stabbed Mboneni. Okay, I will end there. Now, I want to comment generally on violence. There's a video that I also saw here on Twitter where a woman was being victimized in Matebeleland. I can't remember which area. Achiro Anevarume being dragged into the bush. But because I understand Ndebele, this woman was being accused kuti ndiwe waudza vanhu kuti tabamombe isisu. Wataurirei, this woman gave out information kuti uyu ndiye abamombe uyu. And then that person was attacked by the community. And these 2 men went to that woman and she was busy saying, I didn't say that. But now when it came to Twitter, Zaganzi, look at ZANU-PF violence. And then I'll go to another incident in Harare, in a hairdressing or in a barber shop, where a guy who was wearing yellow, actually aggravated another person who was also a barber. Chigero changu chiri kupi wewe? Chigero changu chiri kupi? And there was a person who was on the outside who was recording the video. Angakapfeka t-shirt ye yellow ye CCC. And the next stage, takazoona that guy angati chigero changu chiri kupi arara pamusoro pemakuva. Achinzi, hey, say uri kuataka Chamisa because ndi president wangu. So here I am asking a question kuti okay. Kana wabatwa neMasiya chaizvo uri kurohwa zvekurohwa zviya. Who is recording and would you still have the guts nokuti Chamisa ndiyechi? So sometimes people question these things. Kuti muri kutaura nyaya dzeviolence, but look at my incidences violence. Ndakusiya iyoyo. Ndoda kuenda kune incident ye infighting iri mu CCC. Do you guys remember? I think it was 2021 or early 2022 where Obey Stole akaita a fight na anonzani Ostalos. It was Ostalos Nana Ngadziore, and then it was just a faction vanhu vaisaidira biti versus vanhu vaisaidira chi. Ndokubva taona uyu Stole achitwa dethrone of his youth leadership ndobva yapuwa Ostalos. There was violence that erupted kumasvingo, but this was infighting CCC. But when people come to Twitter now, vanongouza kungoti ZANU-PF is violent, ZANU-PF is violent. Ezvinezvi Obey kuadzwa. And there are too many stories. It's unfortunate kuti akuadzwa. I will never celebrate kukwadzwa kweumwe. I will never support violence. But what I want to say to Zimbabweans, we are one. But when it comes to violence, let's rather speak the truth. We hype up people. Kuti ZANU-PF is doing this, and then whoever nengane hasha dzake whether ari ku UK ari ku South Africa omva angoti ZANU-PF must go, but musina kuita really investigate where the trouble started. I'll land on this. Thank you, Salani.
Sorry, Sumi. Okay, go ahead.
Team Go, you can respond to Chimama.
Okay, no, I wanted to just say kuti Tim Goanga Taura kuti he's not familiar with the Kwekwe incident, which is very understandable. But what I wanted to highlight is the fact that Chimama, what I understood from what you're saying is violence does happen even within Triple C Panama incidents. I can even remember, I think Panama rally at Triple C Pama by elections where a journalist woman Pani Jakaitika nyayo yaina taurwa kakanyanya. I have to be honest. Yakaitwa as if it was kind of put under the rug. But I do appreciate the fact that Triple C came out and apologized to the female journalist for what they had encountered at that time. So I get, is the point you're trying to make, Kuti? It's not other violence act that do take place all the time in ZANU-PF, even if it's like something chaitika kune munhu ochisinene ZANU, everything will always be ZANU is violent. Is that the point you were trying to make, Chimama? Okay, I'm not sure if Chimama can hear me there, but that's what I was kind of hearing her say. And that's quite interesting. And to those who are listening in, before you start saying, oh, look at the speakers, we've got ZANU people. Hey, you are welcome to grab the mic. The mic goes to whoever wants it. If you feel you'd like to contribute or answer or respond to any statements that are made, please do feel free to grab the mic. You can do that or use the comments box to put your comments. But just make sure you tag me in there so that I know you've got a comment that you want me to sort of say, to speak out about. So anyway, can I just ask, guys, remember the topic, let's go to Nyaye Zaka. Zaka Chichakaitika, guys, like what's going on? Zaka, there's a letter there that was written. If you need me to go through it, no problem. Panema requirements angakataurwa ipapo, right? Pane pakatarwa nyaya yekunzi there's a time iripo pa section 2 of that yange kanzi from 8 a.m. to 12 midday. That is the time where that is allocated ndio permission yakapiwa. And then it says, take note that this event will be limited to this occasion at Ward 19 Zaka Central constituency. You are directed to stick to the agreed time and no toys. That was then point 3. Number 4, Pakanzi, the busing of strangers from other areas to this occasion and carrying of dangerous weapons of any nature, which may cause violence, are prohibited. So it says there on number 5, failure to comply with paragraph 2, 3, and 4 above will basically commission of any other offenses by the people attending this gathering. We entitled the ZRP to lawfully disperse the gathering. So the reason why I'm reading Zaka is because next to it, there's this whole Mashonaland West province article, Yakanzi presidential star rally 8 July. There's the whole issue of Chegu, Tukadoma, my constituencies, my wards, my numbers, ponzi, my bazi, kwanzi, my delegates. My question is, saka ZANU iri kubhasa vanhu here ndizvo here kana kuti handisi kunzwisisa, like what's going on there? If anyone can come through and kind of enlighten us all. And the other issue was Triple C vanga vachiti mapurisa dispersed people. But I saw kuti pane specific time iripo. So the question would then be, did Triple C manage to adhere also to the timing or the time frame they were given, or had the time passed? These are some of the questions that we need to start talking about. Remember, I keep on saying all these letters that are being put up there or responses from ZRP police, we need to look at them like step by step, point by point, and then we can have a discussion. So I don't know, does anyone who's on this mic right now have anything to contribute with regards to that, especially by the issue ye mabaz? What's going on? Say vamwe vari kunzi musaunze vanhu and then vamwe vari kunza vane vatori ne kalisti kanonzi kachikwa in maths vanoita zvemaths accountant vatori ne number of buses, hanzi 20 buses, and this is Chegutu East and 15 words. Kana kuti word 15 vari kuti 15 words here kana kuti 1 word, like chichi kutaurwa.
Salani.
Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
Okay,
go ahead.
So yeah, the thing we have to look at right here when police make their recommendations, it's according to what they can handle at the moment in juncture. So what we've seen from the opposition whenever they do their rallies, right? And then they apply within that amount of time, which does not allow the police to mobilize their forces to be present to accept such a crowd. That's why they had to put statement, passing of other people, because they don't have.
Sorry, Mark Rock, there's a bit of an Mark Rock, there's an echo thing. Are you next to a gadget or something? Or we touch breaker?
Oh, sorry.
Much better. Much better.
Okay. So, like I was saying, the police need to know in a good time, in an advanced time, to mobilize their resources so that they can support this particular rally that the opposition wants to do. But if you're doing strategic ambiguity and you say, oh, in 3 days I'll be in Zaka, and you write to the police and say, this is what I want, the police is not going to go out their way to try and find people to come and cover that event, because it all takes money, it all takes planning and budgeting. Also, the busing of people is actually what we call mobilization. Yes, and ZANU-PF does it. These star rallies, right? These star rallies are presidential rallies where everybody has to come and meet the president, and they're happening in different provinces. And so these provinces, they will. It's not like the president will be able to go everywhere. So if they want these people to come closer to where the president is, the party is supporting its own people by allowing them to get into these buses for free so that they could come and meet with the president. It's just a mobilization strategy, and there's nothing wrong with it. And the thing about it is, when you do it, you need to give the police an ample amount of time so that they could plan and prepare for your event. Otherwise, 3 days, you will not get the same thing.
Okay, sorry, Team Go. 1 second, Mark Rock, if you could just think of this, what if 3 days? There is also a letter we yaka explainer kuti pakaita a clash whereby one. So okay, it says here that yekuchivi, the letter iripo. And let me take this opportunity to highlight that Chiwi Growth Point ground was booked by ZANU-PF, and we are in receipt of their letter dated the 1st of July. Saka meaning kuti also ZANU yakatumira on the 1st of July, and then Triple C yavo yakashika on the 2nd of July. So that sounds to me like vanhu vari kutumira ma letters at the same time, don't you think? Cannot postal service ndio iri kuzongodelaya. We can't really sort of argue kuti vamwe vari kuita zvinhu pane nguva vamwe vachinonoka based on that Chiwi sort of letter.
No, but now we're talking of two different scenarios where ZANU-PF, the Chiwi, is probably like a district meeting, or it does not require a lot of people. And then when we talk of the CCC, they're bringing their heavyweights, and everybody who supports that party in that area will want to go see these heavyweights. Saga, that's where you get that issue where if it's a district meeting, a ZANU-PF district meeting, the police there will be able to facilitate for that, because there is not expected to be outrageous amounts of people when compared to a meeting where CCC president is there, which will require more and more people to be there. So I think that's the difference within that case, in that particular case.
Okay. No, thanks for your contribution. Yeah, Tim, go, take it away.
Yeah, I was gonna say in response to what Mark was saying, kuti CCC vanongoerekana vamuka vangoti mangwana tiri kuzaka, or maybe in the next 3 days. To be honest, when CCC avaka, it's not their first rodeo, and most have been in politics for a very long time, arranging my rally, and there is, I would imagine.
Yeah, plus Chibaya. Is it Champion Chibaya? I've heard Kuti is the one who usually deals with that.
I'm not sure, but I'm sure there's a minimum set of time. In notice, you're supposed to give Mapurisa if you're gonna book an event, and there's a lot of preparation involved, because obviously, especially when you're involving the president, to get to that place, you have to scout the area to make sure the finances is gonna do, how the whole program is gonna work. So I don't think it's just something that just like that. It's serious stuff. I mean, CCC is the main opposition really, and it's literally the old MDC, if we're going to be technical about it, that's the same party. So the, when you then say, well, when it comes to buses, ZANU-PF is different because the president is coming and a lot of people are going to come and meet the president. But you could argue the same. The leader of the main opposition is a president of a big party as well, So to put in letters to him and his party to say, when you're speaking, you can't be busing people. But you said, I don't know, there's a word you said, almost like you said it's a strategic, I don't know, there's a word, mobilization, something it's like a mobilization sort of thing, to say, well, there's one rule for one party and one rule for the other party. So that's where the unfairness is sort of seen. But he's the president. Yes, he's the president, but the other is the opposition leader, the main opposition leader. In most countries, the opposition leader is regarded as well in regards to, especially if it's the opposition leader for the one of the largest parties, the police has to factor that in. But to be honest, I'll be interested to see a letter yakanyorwa to ZANU-PF from the police, the wording in it in regards to Rally avo. Maybe we're just seeing CCC. Maybe ZANU-PF some of these venues. We can't deny Pangoti. The fact that sometimes ZANU-PF and Rambizo my venues, if they're overbooked, if they're double booked, for example. But it'd be interesting to see the wording in those letters as well. Tone like for like, is it a template? Are the police using the same language? Are they using the same conditions to ZANU-PF and CCC? At least that way, then ZANU-PF can dispel and say, look, Imam Gati, you're being treated unfairly. Look at our letters as well. We try to book a rally in Bindura, Taka, the same, but the pattern now is all we see is letters against the CCC. That's the pattern. That's always been the pattern. If there was anything else to say, well, how come? Can you say they're incompetent, that they can't book these venues in time, that they haven't done their due diligence? But for some reason, there was something else. It's always like there's a catalogue of errors. Are the errors based on CCC? It's a deliberate frustration tactic. That's the thing. Are they incompetent? Are they not doing their work properly? Trying to book these rallies, it's, like you say, it's campaign season, and they've got people who are experienced in this job, and for some reason they just keep on falling short, getting my denial. Where's my star rally? Going through. So that's the way I just see it. I'll land there.
Thank you so much, Team Go, because you are absolutely right. And I think when it comes to ZANU-PF, if they had those letters, to be honest, or if you want to think of it, ZANU-PF doesn't make it a qualm if it can fit its narrative. Because right now, obviously, everyone is saying, why is this happening to Triple C? This would have been the opportune time yekuti ma-publicity department communications officer vezanu wabva vati nyangwe nesuwo tinorambidzwawo honaiwo leta yedu. But we've yet to see a letter like that. So I guess it's up to vanhu vezanu. Budisaiwo maletters zenyu kana muchirambidzwa. Otherwise, right now, people will continue to look at the fact that if there's no evidence of such letters being, given also these responses going to ZANU-PF rallies and their events, it definitely means that parikutoita a sort of selective application of the right to hold rallies there. Yeah, go ahead, Chimama.
Thanks, Alani. My network is playing up because it's load shedding until 8. So I just want to address something that Tim Go had said earlier on about, I think a follow-up on what Macron had said. There was a time in Andiriku CCC, and we're pretty much excited after the time that Chamisa's car was attacked in Matombo. I think it was in Chivi, somewhere there. Then we were told that Chamisa nasaenda ni motorbike akanoita rally. Saka apanga pachinzi pane ma roadblock akamuvharidzira watu acha stop and so on. And then zvikanzi atora chimotorbike aenda ari one. Nobody expected him. Vakatongomona asvika. And everybody was saying, yeah, bravo, aita zvinhu zvakanaka. So inini chandinoona as a mature person, I want to take Chiredzi as an example because Chiredzi is a very small town. Everybody knows each other in that town. Kubva ku DA offices, kuenda ku police station, kuenda kupi, all these people know kuti uyu mu CCC, uyu mu ZANU-PF. And these very same people shop in the same shops. Kana pane makombis, they get into the same kombis. They interact, they support each other. Kana nechi spaza shop chake, people just go there. They live together, you know, in a way is still violent. But now when my elections do come now, where you find kuti panodiwa kuita rally with ZANU-PF, they've got my structures ekuti munhu iyeye ari muarea imomo anonosvika kuti gogogoi maybe kumba kwa whoever is officer in charge tinoda kuita rally musi wakati president vanouya chichichi, but then you find kuti veku CCC someone is coming from Harare to come and get authority yokuti agoita rally yoyo, and this is a person asiri people, they are not very familiar with that person in that area, so that can be a setback. So it's always important kuti vanhu vaite ma relations are good in that area. Use the people. Anti makona kuti Chibaya akaita problem ku Bulawayo, he is in an area where he's not even familiar with. Vari kuti TCA tite zvinhu zvedu kunoku, but you know, whatever happened. So now when it comes to the incompetence yekuziya kuti tiri kufana kuita rally, I'm glad Tim Go and Macroc are resonating the same thing kuti panoda preparation yekuti mapurisa anofana kuti kana pakaita violence yekuti vanhu vakurovana pakuti panofana kunga pane backup. Mapurisa achiziva kuti okay, tine motikari 10 dziri pa standby, tine mapurisa maybe 15 or whatever for a crowd inenge ine vanhu 2000 or 3000. So for that reason sometimes I think vanoramba because we need to look at what happened ku Nyatsime, where you know people just started doing stuff and panga pasina control. Now Tim Go said maybe it's just a way of frustrating people. I know that a lot of people, a lot of Zimbabweans have left Zimbabwe to be in South Africa, to be in the UK, to be wherever. And saka everyone is desperate kuti dai tadzoka ku Zimbabwe yedu, especially people that are here in South Africa. People that are in the UK as well. Things are not so great. So because they are so desperate to come, the leaders, the political leaders, be it ZANU-PF or CCC, they tell their supporters what they want to hear. And I sometimes feel like the way you've responded, Salani, I'm not going to follow blindly just because sometimes people believe things that are not practical and they just get angry because this is the information that has been availed to them. And then you just say, ZANU-PF must go. But you don't look at what is it that our party has done to actually fail us. So blame game, inoonekwa iri a thing that becomes now normal. Kutizvo nindi karamba takaita a crowd iri hyped up. You know, I've had people who have attacked me, people who don't know me. Now, when you look at busing, I think busing is a convenient way of getting people in one place, you know, on time. Because if you want to look at, I just want you guys to think of where you come from, Kuma villages. So I'm from Masvingo, right? So if you look at people, maybe toti rally iriku nemamwa kune Great Zimbabwe. You have people who are coming from Gokomere, people from Vuma, people from Bondofi, people from Kwamcheke, kune ma different townships, akasiyana. And you want kuti vanhu vange vari pa venue on time, and then kuti vanhu vasayuza mari dzavo. I think it's a smart way of getting people together. And there's nothing wrong nyange vanhu veku CCC vakasenzesa motikari vakanzi you have lorried people or what have you. It's a smart way of getting people to be together, and I don't think it's something that we should be complaining. Problem inozoita pakuti woti okay, tine vanhu mavhane vanhu ku Bulawayo kuti vaende ku rally yeku Bait Bridge, mavhane vanhu ku Bait Bridge kuti vaende ku rally yeku Mutare, but you have people like vana toti vana Chimama ndiri kubva ku South Africa, and then zvonzi pane bhazi riri kuenda ku rally president vari kwa Mutare. Nothing can stop me from getting into that bus or even ndiri kuBite Bridge. Rally, I want to be supporting my party. I'm a fanatic. Yes, ZANU-PF, I've got to be there. I'm a CCC person. So I think some of the things that we worry about, it's okay for people to do that. And there's some people who have not been in Zimbabwe for a very long time, especially when na UK. Salani, I want to give an example. There's a function ku Wembley Arena. You have vanhu vanenge vachibva kuna Essex, vanenge vachibva ku East London, kuna Stratford, kupi kunzvimbo dzakasiyana siyana, but you want them at the Wembley Arena. So people must make my arrangements ekuti vange vachitakurwa so that people get there on time. Now kati uyu abva kumba kwake na 10, uyu abva na 11, then panenge pasina an organized thing. So there are some things that we fight about, we tweet about, that are not necessary. And as Zimbabweans, Zimbabwe is our country, be it ZANU-PF, be it CCC. It's our responsibility to make sure kuti ma politicians hatiudze zvavanoda ivo kuti tinzwe. Vanofana kutiudza zvinhu zviri accurate on the ground. Not kuti vati haipetoti vanhu ve-CCC varova vana mutodi, vanhu ve-ZANU-PF varova. No. And then we end up just fighting each other. When they are together, they enjoy. So takufana kuita politics seasoned, and I'm so glad kuti I can now talk to a lot of people that I blogged earlier on. Toxicity has been reduced. And thank you so much, Salani, and your co-host Mataura kuti panapa pas kudiwa violence and whatnot. So please drop me ndinde kuma listeners, and then I'll come up after 8 when network is good. Thank you.
Yeah, but Chimama, so Pamam Chipa example, are you saying that busing of people should be allowed, in your opinion, for every political party? It shouldn't be something to not restrict to one party alone?
Okay, so busing, I think the way, and especially kuma reserve, we don't have roads dzekuti kana pakaita accident ambulance inomhanya anonzi machinyi motikari dzemapurisa dzinofa. Kune tumwe tumarodhi tokuti munotosiya motikari uko and then vanhu vofamba netsoka. So now kana pazoita emergency hapana munhu uchakwanisa kubatsira munhu. So I don't know how and why they've come up with that, but I also think kuti zvinofana kuva fair. The same conditions for ZANU-PF, the same conditions for CCC. There shouldn't be any favor. Kuti ZANU-PF yaku favor wakuti imimi you can bus people, imimi you cannot bus people. But panofana kutariswa chikonzero chaita kuti vati on a certain venue don't bus people, and people must be able to tell us that reason. Iwo ma politicians achu eku CCC. Thank you.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Sorry.
Okay. Mama ndinotenda pane dama ramataura pamapedzera kutaura.
Oh, sorry. Vanga vachikumbira kuti ndivadropeka. Should I come back if you want to, Chibaba? Ndisati tazidadropa munhu panapa. Go ahead, doctor.
Dama ravataura vakati zvinofanira kunge zviri fair kuti ku CCC neku-ZANU-PF. So takatarisa zviri kunzi ku-CCC nzira dzakazoshata dzakazodai, asi ku-ZANU-PF saka handisi kuziva kuti mabhazi anofamba kuendesa vanhu kurari ye-ZANU-PF ane nzira dzawo dzisina mapotos here dzinonzi dzinotenderwa kuti afambe, uyezve mabhazi anofamba achiendesa vanhu ve-CCC kumarari ndiwo anofamba nzira dzine mapotos. I think Zimbabwe ine twin, like, pane yatoti kana tichishandisa pa-social media tinoti kana pamafoni twin up. I think in Zimbabwe we have a twin up of a Zimbabwe where kuti kana ZANU-PF ichifamba iyo ichiendesa vanhu kumarari nzira dzina mapoto, where it is CC kana vanhu vachida kuenda kumarari nzira dzine mapotos dzakashata dziri kugadzirwa. That's a twin up. So mtemo haufaniri kutarisa kuti wabuda mbamani sezvo tese tiri vanhu veZimbabwe, nekuti maonero enyaya kuti kuti nzira idiki, pamwe vanhu vakazopinda vakazowandisa vanozoita maaccident, dzakakudubuka mota hakuna maambulensi. Ipfungwa yakanaka, but sei pfungwa yakanaka ichiuya kana kuri ku-CCC motifungira kuti aiwa nzira ine mapotos musatakure vanhu ndavafambe netsoka. Moreover ku-CCC kwacho makatarisa vanhu vanenge vachifamba netsoka vanoenda vamwe nemabhasikoro, vamwe kutofamba netsoka. We have been there in these trenches. Taifamba netsoka kuenda nemabhasikoro, not by force. Kwete kunzi wakasauya kuRarry ucharohwa, but kufamba semunhu anoda kuti ndiri kunzwa kuda kunoona atsvangirai vachitaura, ndiri kunzwa kuda kunoona Chamisa achitaura, munhu zvinotomusunda ega. We have been there kuti vazhinji vari panapa, let me tell you, vazhinji vamwe vari panapa kuti vangasapoti ZANU-PF nevamwe vangasapoti CC pakuudzana chokwadi, especially vanosapota ZANU-PF vamwe vacho vari outside the country. You don't suffer the way my supporters are on the ground they suffer. Vanomutswa na 3 AM, vamwe na 2 AM, voenda pa growth point obva vanorara ipapo vakamirira mabhazi. Imagine 2 AM vanomukira ipapo, vonorara vari ipapo vakamirira bhazi. Vakamirira bhazi pamwe munhu ari kubva kuChipinge, bhazi riri kuya kuChinhoyi. Imagine kuti asvike kuChinhoyi anenge amuka ikoko nguvayo. Hande muri kuona. So that is the same zvatiri kuzama kutaura kuti why mitemo iyi yakarerekera divi rimwe chete. Munoona Zimbabwe tisaiite inge yakagomerwa neZANU-PF chete. Inge Zimbabwe ina amai 1 vakagomera vanhu veZANU-PF 9 months. Panzi imimi vana vangu ndimi ndakarwadziwa chete nemimba yekukutakurai. Vamwe veCC vanhu vakangodonha muti semaavocado ngeshizha vasingarwadziwe. We can try to propaganda everything kuti zvakazodai. We have lot of incidents dzandotoziya inini dzandakaona. Inini ihulu another year ndakamutswa ndaenda kufarm kwangu. Ndakamutswa na 11 changorara 11 PM changorara. Ndakafutira ndiri kumutsirwei. Zvakanzi vanhu vese vari kuenda kune kwakambonzi kwaonekwa mabondo evana vatema kunonzi kushamba uko. Takamutswa kuma 11 PM. Takanokwira rori, takamanikidzwa kuenda. Takanosvika ikoko tikasonzi mabondo akaurayiwa na Roy Bennett muchishandiswa muchiro. So that was propaganda. And I was trying to understand everything. So I understand propaganda, how it works. Another time tiri kuChipinge tichishanda. Tiri kuChipinge nguva yataishanda, it's between 208. Do you know taimutswa, not kuti taida. Momutswa munzi endai kwakati. But tichikaziva ini ndiri weMDC. Waimutswa nekumanikidzwa uchizoda kurohwa, wakashayikwa wairohwa, wakaenda uchinonoka kufamba wairohwa, handiri kuona. But munhu aizopedzisira aenda. But kana ZBC yauya kuya haina wainobvunza kakuti nhai mauya nekuda kana kuti marohwa. Handiri kuona. Dai painzi pane mutemo, pane mapepanhau, manyuzipepa chaiyo chaanongasobuditsa chaizvo zvinovatapo enhau. Vanosvobvunza hafu yevanhu vanenge vaenda kumarari enyu kuti nhai vauya nekuda kwenyu mega mirai apa, vauya nekumanikidzwa mirai apa. Maiona mabhazi enyu ese akazara nevanhu vamanikidzwa kuuya. Uyezve dai pasina kuthreatenwa. I was in Zimbabwe 2 months ago. Ndaitaura namwe amai vangu vandakakura nchiona. Taura nawo so ndakati mama machisunga kachimukomana ichi chinonyepa. Zvakati mwanangu kutongosungawo ndotya kuputsirwa imba ye ndo pandotowanawo kurarama tasava nuno wako havashande. Yakapwanywa magirazi kana yakaputswa ndotoshaya chekuvapa. Kungoendawo but vanun'una wako vanoziva pekuvhotera. Handotiri kuona bata that point kuti amai vari kungoendawo but chavari kuendera kumusangano kutya kuti imba yavo inopunzwa. So we have citizens vari kugara in fear. We have citizens vari kuita chinhu in fear kwete kuti vari kuda. Handiri kuona. So ndo zvakafanana zvekuitika kumaRarry kunana Chivi. Makatarisa kwese kune vanhu vanenge vauya nemwoyo unoda. Pane vhidhiyo yandaona mukoma wangu ihulu iwazama kukota ya uyu chimukomana chaimborimba rumba ichi chakazotadza ichi inonzi Mutodi. Panhu pakaungana unoona kunonzi kudena. Iwe uri kuona kuti ndo pakaungana vanhu veCC, unobva waenda ipapo nevanhu vako. Uri kuenderei? Makaona pakaungana ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF yakanzi nemusangano. Hauone kana kayelo kana munhu anoenda kunodena. Why? Because ZANU-PF 1 will be protected by police, 2 will be protected by army, by border gezi, nema youth. And murwana. So ZANU-PF inoprotectwa nezvinhu 4. Mapurisa, masoja, border gezi, nema youth anenge ari protective zvinezvi. Handiri murikuona. so hautomboone kana munhu anodarika neipapo kana ukanonzi weCC uri pana munonzi mutengesi. So let's remove that character. Saka ndati inini newe uhuru hafanirwi kutukana, tofanira kudya pamwe chete. Salani pano vanhu vangu vachirequesta manhingiri nemamike, please can you accept them?
Yeah, Kurundai was requesting and then he just drops. I don't know. I sent him the invite if he still wants to talk. Go ahead, Skumi.
Yeah. So iwewe neni nachimama hatifanirwe kurwa kana kunyeperana zvinhu zviri kuitika pachena. Pane zvinhu zviri kuitika pachena seamutodi akaridza pfuti. Imimi ndazoona maakukota pane 30 seconds video yekunzi ari kubvunzwa kunzi uri kudei zvikanzi mudhara unokwarira mahara zera rakuenda kumba. Hani muri kuona dai anga ari mudhara weCC akagadzika mukadzi uya pamakumbo, dai nhasi zviri papi, dai iri mwenyaya. So hatizamei kuti senyika yedu yatinoda tiiumbe nechokwadi. Nyika yedu yatinoda ndai tiiumbe nechokwadi kuti tiiumbe nemanyepo. So nyaya kuti road akashata kana ari mahari ari marari anoPF.
Oh, sorry, Kurundai. Let's Dr. Skumi land and then you can come through.
It's okay,
if that's okay.
He's a co-host. Vakutotipa direction kuti ngati kurukuri nyaya yakadai so. But how about Salani tikataura about the subject above? No, vakutokuti control isusu, and you know what it means. Talani, you always talk about emotional or something and stuff like that. He's the co-host, for God's sake. He's not a panelist.
I think he was just giving his contribution because I sort of put him in the spot.
He's saying he's like he is addressing Zimbabweans, and this is exactly what is happening.
Yeah, but
this is not what is happening.
You don't
want that kind of abuse. He's abusing her.
Okay, apologies for sorry, gentlemen. Apologies to everybody. Let's just allow him to land, and then you can come through. Did you want to give a contribution, though, Kurundai?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you're coming next, and I think you can then use that opportunity. But I we're just seven kungotanga space. There will be moments where we're trying to get more speakers. You know how it goes. It's not easy to co-host or host a space. So we're glad the more we see you guys come, we will definitely reduce our submissions. But it's only because there were a few of us. So no offense intended. Apologies for that. But I felt he was just trying to give people an idea of what he's also experienced, since this is Citizen Speak Out, and we try to allow everybody the freedom.
Yes, we see nothing wrong with that too.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Skumi, apologies. You can land. Please prepare to land, and then we can go. You can let us know who's next.
Okay, Mkoma Kurundai, I'm very sorry. Kuti matibatira padumbu sedumbushwa, but mkoma uhulu na chimama.
No, I was a listener.
Sorry, wait. Zvinoreve kuti padumbu kungechi? Zvinoreve izvozvo?
You came in the middle. You didn't get the start.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So mkoma Kundai maibatira pakati, but
I was there right from the beginning.
Kundai chimbomira kani munhu apedze kani kuzoneiita seko. What's going on with you?
Okay, gentlemen, apologies. Please, guys. Kurundai ndikukumbira sorry kani ndakumbira cash. Thank you. Please, Dr. Skuva siye vapedze. He just has, because we were here for a while. So we were talking, where he's talking from, those who started with us would understand where he's coming from. And now were there from the beginning, and others. So apologies, guys. Even the listeners, if you guys feel like you're not understanding even when I talk and where I'm coming from, do let me know. So that we can move together. But I feel like maybe you didn't get the beginning of where he was starting from. So apologies for that. Take it away, Dr. Skumi.
Mkoma Kundai akumana, I'm very sorry. I don't
know kuti amutuma ndiani Kurundai.
No, let's not go there, guys. No. I don't want the space to turn into something else. Cash, please, I beg of you. No one has sent anyone. If anything, you are all sent here on earth by Jesus Christ and God in heaven. Machinzwa. Nyaya yekungoti uyu atumwa ndanzwa nekunzi ndakatumwa inini ndofunga Satan ndiye akandituma ndichatozive. So please, I beg of you. We are all Zimbabweans. No one has sent anyone. Kurunta is using his own data. In Mariake, you too. So please, let's be respectful. I beg of you. The topic is CC rallies, ZANU-PF rallies. So let's give me your contributions, please. That's all we want. The listeners, we want them to engage with us. We want to show them that it is possible for people who have different political opinions to actually discuss in one space. Please, guys. So please, Cash, don't unmute for any reason. School me, please.
Okay. Nganditendilende. Mkoma hulu ndofunga tiri kunzwanana naSisi Chimama tiri panapa namukoma taxi driver ndambaona pasapa tinenge tiri kunzwanana kwatiri kubva nekwatiri kuenda. So tiriva nemunhu mumwe chete. Gudo hakuna gudo rebrown kana rered. Ese anongonzi makudo. Nyoka nyangwe dzinganzi shato rovambira asi dzese inyoka. So inini weMDC neweZANU-PF please ngatisapondanei. Ndo chinangwa chatavhurira space namukoma hulu. So I'm very sorry kuna mukoma Kundai kuti matadza kuti nzwisisa zvenyu. Zvinowanikwa vanoembwa vasvinire musi mumwe chete ndatenda hangu.
Thank you for that. Macroc, is it okay if we go to Kurundai, and since he's a new speaker there, is that okay with you, Macroc? I know you've had your hand up for a while.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Kurundai, please go ahead.
Thank you, boss. My submission is not that very long, and it's very short and straight to the point. The capital city of our lovely nation, Zimbabwe, is Harare, and the mayor of the capital city of Zimbabwe is Advocate Jacob Mafume. 3 days ago, he was at an event where the President of the Republic was commissioning something he said he was going to do. I mean, to make sure that investors come to Zimbabwe and invest in our economy, so that each and every citizen of Zimbabwe who is looking for a job, chemical engineering, etc., is guaranteed to get that job. And Mayor Mafume was there. He witnessed that, and he congratulated the President of the Republic, Comrade Idi Mnangagwa, saying that, President, you are exactly doing what you promised in 2017, 2018, and we are wishing you well. We would love you to win elections.
Kurudai, but topic ndongo chiti topic ko gagari iyo irali yeCC nezano here vanhu vaMwari ndinjegera Kurundai haungadaro sa
Salani, atora zvinhu zvemumhepo ukatora zvinhu zvakaitika zvine Cash, you are not a Zimbabwean, please.
Aiwa. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, you guys may say I'm a bad person, but Kurundai came and stopped Dr. Skumi Akati. You're not adhering to the topic. There's a topic. Now I'm hearing of President ED and Mayor Mafume. What was that, a rally? That was the president doing whatever it is that he did. Come on now. No, man. Yeah. Kurundai, no.
Dr. Skulu was going to land nicely, and Kurundai in the fungo tacha chitauro zvinhu but ari kudomoka. Man.
Please.
Relax.
Aiwa Macroc, umwe wenyuyu. This is your ZANU brother. What is this? Aiwa, Kurundai. You literally have to apologize to us, the listeners. Kurundai.
Can I just clarify what Honorable Kurundai was
you're trying to help him.
No, I mean in terms of
Hulu, are you serious? Is this guy honorable?
Cash.
Aiwa, Cash. No. Everyone is honorable.
Some people are missing the point because he was talking about the gesture of friendship. the gesture of friendship, which was shown by the president hugging the mayor
But
of
Hulu,
Harare.
that's
Why
not the
can't you
topic.
say that?
No, no,
Why
no. I
can't you
mean,
say that yourself?
in terms of the fact that if you look at on the CCC side, you will never see a gesture like that, where the
But
president of
that's
the
not a
Citizen
rally.
Coalition for Change, Cash,
That's
where
not
the
a rally.
president of the
Cash,
Citizen
please,
Coalition for
please
Change
hold on,
will
Cash.
be
But
will be
Hulu,
able.
Hulu,
Yes.
Hulu,
Mhm.
my son, pane zvimwe zvinhu zvisingaexcusike. This is one of them. Tiri kutaura CC rallies and ZANU-PF rallies. Gathering ya president na mayor has got nothing to do with the
Yeah,
rallies we're talking about
but
or the police response.
I'm trying to explain it. You see, because I understood what he
No,
was
you
talking
can't, but
about.
you're talking about gesture. Aiwa, munhu kana zvazvisiri kuita tinongotaura kuti sha. Kurundai, please. The topic is there. We don't want to muffle you. But I
Salani,
think
Salani,
that one is not
Salani,
the topic. Aiwa,
Salani.
Kurundai.
Ah,
Kurundai, Kurundai,
hold on. Let
you are
me.
an aspiring candidate, sha. So I'm trying to help you so that pauchazopa ma rally speech ako ka. Unenge uchipa rally speech iri kudhila nezviri kuitika muconstituency. Kwete zviri
Yeah,
kuitika kuChina.
but
Hold on.
let me guys, let me just explain what Honorable Kurundai was saying. I repeat, the gesture of friendship, where the president, actually gave a hug to the opposition mayor. You see, and we are saying that if you go to the other side of the Citizen Coalition for Change, you would hardly see any such gestures. In most cases, what you'd see are people who
That's
are
an unfair
angry,
assessment.
right? Yeah, but check this, check this. So
We've
what
seen
happens is that the
azitendai
police,
biti akambopiwa skafu futi one occasion
yeah,
inda tichida
so
kuselekta
you
divers.
see, the police are human beings like all of us here. So what happens is that some people think the police act like machines when they are actually human beings. The police are human beings. They know very well that if the president is coming to Chirezi, for example, the president would notify the police well in advance. Do you get that? And then when the CCC is following the strategic ambiguity, they don't do so because they say
But
that we are going
Ulu,
to be targeted.
All
So
right,
control.
can we stick
All
to the
right,
topic,
thank
but
guys?
you,
they know
thank
the
you.
rules.
Can we
Okay?
stick to the topic,
Yeah.
guys?
Sorry,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
stick to the topic and thank you for speaking on his behalf. But I don't think you were able to, though. I doubt it. But Hulu, we've got Macroc who's waiting, and then Cash, and then you
It's
can
okay, but
now
Salani,
Nana team go.
before time you lender, I hadn't landed. In fact,
Aiwa, no, guys, no.
Sorry. Please allow me to moderate the space. Aungalende iwe watanga the wrong. Zvafanana nekuti uri kupindura essay question iwe wotadza the introduction. What's the point of coming to a conclusion? So please, I beg of you, you need to say something chikuenderana netopic, please. Are you saying something with regards to the topic, Kurundai? Please.
of course.
Okay, go ahead.
I love you for that. Accountability and transparent. You never, go low to listen to what these people like Cash. They're not citizens of Zimbabwe. Cash is not a symbol of
I
Zimbabwe.
will address you when I get.
Dear topic, Refuti. No, please. This space was going very well, Wani. Thank you for the compliment, but please don't. If you don't have anything nice to say about Cash or anyone on the, in the space, there's no need because their names are not the subject of the. I beg of you. So I don't think Utipanish or Chada. Yeah, you're not using your opportunity, Kurundai. Can I go? And Akwenda kuna Macroc. Thank you, Kurundai. Waitako. Macroc, please come through.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to compare those two up there that you speaking to the subject of busing, saying Raj Taurana, Dr. Schoolme, it's unfair and whatnot. We have a letter that's addressed to the CCC for their rally, which they applied on the 3rd, right? And they're applying to hold a rally, and they received notification from the police on the 5th for a rally that they're to do on the 7th, right? That's where the difference is. If you look at ZANU-PF right there, you attach a paper, a spreadsheet that shows how many people were going to be bused, blah 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 blah, and for this presidential star rally, right? The star rallies are organized and put forward in time. Like right now, if you go to Zetherapy, they will tell you exactly when the president will hold another star rally and where. So they have ample time to go and put resources where they need to be. And then in that case, with the CCC letter where they're told not to bring any busing, okay? It says that they're not being stopped from busing anybody from around the local area. It specifically says strangers from who are not from the area. So because the police has the capacity to take care of the people in the area, that's why they had to put that advice of saying there shall be no busing of strangers from people who do not live in the area. Because ukazonza vanhu vanobva kuharare kuchitungwiza chichi kuzaka ikoko kwanga achida kuita kuward 19 mapurisa akaassignwa kuzaka ikoko haazogoni. And because the request was made 3 or 4 days before the actual rally, there wasn't enough time for the police to mobilize and bring enough people to come and control such a bumper crowd, given that it was the president of the CCC party coming. Saga, it's not an issue of unfairness. It's an issue of management, crowd management, to make sure that if something pops off, it can be managed in a manner to where if violence happened, only a minimum amount of people will get hurt. Saga, it's not anything to do with favoritism, because it's about planning. If you plan in advance and you tell the police, because they work for everybody, they work for CCC, they work for ZANU-PF, they're paid by our tax monies that we all pay as Zimbabweans. So the courtesy is to put your request in a timely manner so that they can mobilize enough police forces to come and attend to your rally. That's why Vachiti, no busing shall be allowed for that particular rally. Now, if the CCC wants to do a presidential star rally in Victoria Falls in a month's time, and they put the request right now, I'm pretty sure it will not be rejected, or they will not be told not to bus anybody, because like ZANU-PF, when they hold these rallies, they give the police all this documentation, but we're expecting to have these people, and this is how many people we're going to bus over there. That way, the police is more prepared to deal with the bumper crowd. That's my submission, though.
Can I ask anyone, or even Macroc, whether the police does the police get money to ensure that they have enough adequate resources? Does anyone know whether there's an issue of like a sort of monies which are given to them to ensure that during campaigns they're able to enforce and to have resources? Does anyone know? This is just a question that I'm actually curious to find out about, if anyone knows, or maybe if someone wants to suggest the manner in which they should be doing things. But I can see Cash, I think, is dropping there. I can't see him properly. Tim Go, please come through.
Oh, thanks, Boslan. I had the submission yet, na Mark Croc. I just wanted to speak to something earlier, Chinjatoro Nahulu, when he was trying to defend Karundai in regards to gestures being given, saying, well, we don't see the CCC doing the same gestures. To be honest, red gestures, it's I don't see how vital it is, or because in this, we're talking about fairness here in regards to the subject that we're discussing, in the protection of human rights for every Zimbabwean. Chimama, when she dropped off, she couldn't answer a simple question when she was asked after her submission, Kuti, so are you basically saying that CCC should be allowed to bus its supporters like ZANU-PF, because she had alluded to that fact? But then she went around and was trying to say, it depends, because we have to look at it on a fairness point of view, to see what is there one template for the other, and a template for which is used for that different party. Macroc, you're talking about how the police are given all this information well in advance by ZANU-PF. You're in the know to the documents that ZANU-PF is producing to the police, all the paperwork. almost like they have the checklist that's required. Hence, when they submit their things, it's all seamless, no problems. So that's why they just approved. And the police always have provisions for ZANU-PF Star Rally, blah blah blah. But when it's CCC, I don't know, somehow it's always, and we only have these letters that Silan has posted and did it. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. If you go back to last year, there are loads of them. There are loads. I don't know how many, more than 10, surely. You'd see on Twitter every other weekend last year. They're cropping up Tarambi's or Tabano. The word is ban, obvious. You can look at the excuses that the police have been providing. But still, it's the same pattern. There's always reasons. I don't believe CCC at that, bad at organizing stuff to a point that they just, they can't organize a piece up in a bowl, in a barrel. One thing I have to look at is, when you say, Zeterapi, Vanwo, and yes, of course, Vanwo and it, Vanwo, but at the same time, they're being used like a tool in the toolbox, same as the army. The issue we have is the ZRP, when they go to police ZANU-PF rallies and it, you can see the order there. To be honest, I see the order there. The president is talking. When the president is talking, everything seems like it's legit in Jakarongek. But whenever they arrive at a CCC rally, the CCC supporters, when they see the police, they're scared. They don't see police as Vanwacha to maintain peace and order and protect us. When they arrive, you see them arriving. The name is escaping me. You see them arrive heavily armed, name a baton stick. You can tell that the mood, the environment changes when the police arrive at CCC. The tension is already there. Van almost scurrying away. So there is a different, there's a difference between ZANU-PF and CCC when it comes to police. It's evident. It's not policing when they come. When they're with ZANU-PF, it is policing. But when they're with CCC, it seems like a crackdown. My citizens, the CCT, like Vanvari, people who are in dissent, people who are acting against. It's almost like when they arrive, crime is being committed and they have come to maintain order. If we make the wrong move, baton stick are gonna be flying. So I just that's the way we just view it when we see my videos, when we see that's the we're now living in an age where people with mobile phones, they take pictures, they take videos. It's evidence, it's circulating. You might say it's CCC propaganda, but it's if it's been constant and it's been consistent to see that the police are definitely weighing on different sides and treat CCC and ZANU-PF differently. I'll land there.
Oh, thank you so much, Team Go. I see Cash, we have him back. Hold on, Kurundai. Also, I want to welcome everybody who's just joined us. The topic is still about CC rallies versus ZANU-PF rallies. And now a couple of people came to my DM and they asked, can we not also add not just the ZRP response, but also the UK response? Apparently, there is a video going around, and I'll tag it up there, where the UK government or in Parliament, they were discussing what is actually happening, and they were saying a lot of statements. So please, we're going to open the space to discuss all of that because it is election season. So we're going to have a lot to say with regards to the topic. Please feel free to grab the mic or to comment in the comments box. We will be reading them as we go on. Cash, please come through. Sorry, you dropped earlier. Please go ahead.
Oh yeah, I had a call, so I had to answer the call, right? So yeah, thank you very much for the mic. You know what I mean, right? Anyway, I just wanted to say one statement. I mean, it says I just want to say ignorance is not defense, right? But anyway, there are people who have what we call unconscious bias or implicit bias, right? It depends whenever they look at things, they look on their way, right? But let's be fair, right? In this digital world where we have cell phones, like somebody mentioned, these are evidence We don't have to have a ZBC camera to see somebody doing something. Cameras are used now in courts here. If you have a video and the crime is being committed, the judge will look at the video and see if it is real, and then somebody can go to jail because of the video, right? So anyway, when I look at the rallies, as much as other side, let me just say, in quote unquote, the ruling party or the government right now, everything is actually screwed towards, it's biased towards the opposition. As you can see, the government can use state resources. They are busing people. What's the purpose of busing people if there are already people living that constituent? Why don't they just have those people in that constituent attend the rally? You go to another Shirezi, go to Kadoma. Why bus people from Chitungwiza and all the way out there? It doesn't make sense. Why waste that money? It's because they want to market it as, oh yeah, we got a big crowd. But it's a fake crowd because those people from Chitungwiza don't vote in Shirezi, don't vote in Kadoma. So in other words, it's a wrong picture to say everybody is everywhere or Zimbabwe is full of people. No, there are cities that don't have enough people. They should just attend as small as that, 5,000, 2,000, not to say 20,000 and there's only 2,000 that live in that place. It doesn't make sense. So the defense, some of the people, they're defending indefensible, right? We have people who actually decided in their life that they have to defend at all costs. I don't know why, because my life won't be changed by anything that happened in Zimbabwe. No matter which side it goes, I still have my life. I still have my family. I still can feed my family. So I don't know about other guys, how they're doing it. If something is wrong, something is wrong. Even the people who come here with the constitution and say this is wrong for banning. Okay, all right. If I can ask you a question. They are saying they're banning CCC rallies because there's an event that is supposed to happen. If you look at the past, whatever 61 rallies that were cancelled, did they actually have an event done that day? Or it was just a way of saying, we can't handle this because we might get in trouble with the government? Because other small cities, they are so scared or intimidated by Harare, because that's the main. If people are government coming from Harare, they intimidate everybody, everybody's scared, they fall in line. But is that the true feeling that they feel? Like somebody says, if we take a survey and say, who actually want to be at that rally, who have traveled maybe 300 kilometers, and those who actually says, no, I was forced, you'll be surprised that you might find out it's 50-50 or it's 60-40. Where people says, I was forced or I was intimidated because I was scared. If I don't go, when I come back, I face repercussions. Maybe I'll be attacked. Maybe my house will be burned. So it's like, we Zimbabweans, one thing that I've seen or that I've known now that I'm fully convinced is we are not honest with each other. We always beat about the bush. If I'm talking to you, I'm supposed to look in your eyes. Here, if I'm talking to somebody right now and I'm looking down and I'm not looking their eyes, looking eyes, they say you're lying. They won't believe you. You have to look in somebody's eyes and be honest. We have never been honest to each other. This is one thing that I learned here, to be upfront. If it is going to work, it's not going to work. As long as I say how I feel, even if it's offending, at least I've opened up and said, this is what I am. But if I'm keep lying that everything is all right, even everything is wrong, that's wrong. Let's be honest. Let's learn to be honest. That's one thing that I learned from diaspora, that I can take home and say, I can look in somebody's eyes and speak. Even anybody's eyes, I can speak looking eyes, but we have never done that. We have people like other Kurundai who just smear up everybody. I know what he's doing. They've been taught if they can't put up their point, you need to disturb the space, you need to cause chaos, and then everything disrupt. That's all they are. If they can't propaganda, what they do, smash the table, make some noise, confuse everybody. But let's be honest, guys. That's one thing that I learned in diaspora. You can't take away from me. I can speak in somebody's eyes straight and look in their eyes and speak and talk and how I feel. I don't put about the bush. So let's learn to be honest to each other. What's not right, what's not right. If somebody's NPF is beaten, let's all speak up they're beaten. If somebody's CC is beaten, not to say, where is the evidence? Maybe it's a fake, but it's on the camera, it's on the video. Cell phones nowadays is technology here. Like I was also hearing about, because we always do elections here. We have elections for premium here. I was listening to the radio, right? One day I was driving, and they were saying, "Hey, let's protect our vote. Okay, We're going to send you, if you're registered, we're going to send you a card in your house. Okay? And you're going to go online and verify the information. Do we have that technology in Zimbabwe where everybody can verify if their name is written correctly, their date of birth, and everything, so that they can verify? Because it will come a day whereby you want to vote, they say, oh yeah, it's misspelled. Oh yeah, this is not your age. Oh yeah, it's wrong constituent. How do you check that? That's some of the technology that we need in Zimbabwe. Like somebody was saying, where are we lagging behind? That's where we are lagging behind. If we can have somebody to punch in for their clock, let's say you're working with fingerprints technology here, at a small company, we could have it for the whole country. Why can't we institute that we can have fingerprint actually for verifying who is registered, who didn't, by fingerprints? Because everybody's fingerprint is different, like they do on the passports. At least it can secure the vote. It can make everybody confident. Whoever wins, wins. But that's things that we need to improve. That's the things we are seeing out here. They actually make it, hey, verify online. I can go online right now and type my name and everything. I can see I'm registered. I'm going to go to this place. I'm going to vote with no problem, with nobody fighting me. Right? So let's learn that, guys. What we learn here, let's take it home. I wish we could take it home where nobody's killed. One person is more than enough. If we kill one person, if somebody get injured, that's more than enough. Here, nobody injured nobody. Right? So let's learn. That's how we're learning. I'm just imparting this knowledge whereby people are shouting at each other, but we still have technology that could employ or hire from here and put it over there, and everybody's clear and everybody can vote freely and fair.
Thank you so much, Cash. There was a question that came to mind because remember one of some of my ZRP responses or correspondence. It looks like they imply that they're trying to save lives or trying to ensure that people don't get harmed. The reason I'm saying this, I think if you go to the recent one, Yabuda Nasi, Ndeku Bindure, if you can help me, Hulu or anyone. I believe there's one which has come out regarding a gathering that is supposed to take place. Let me just, Bindura. So this apparently, Pataurwanyaya, I'm going to read it out for those who haven't looked. It's tagged up there, ladies and gentlemen. And it says that basically, the office, it says this office has reservations in respect of the suitability of the venue, taking into account all relevant security factors necessary. It says the venue falls within an underdeveloped piece of land which is bushy without serviceable roads, water, and sewer facilities. It provides a high-risk security threat to the participants. There is also high risk of threat to the spread of any communicable diseases in the event of any public disorder. Now, it also says the police and other emergency services would have challenges to access the venue due to the unavailability of all the official road network. As a result, our mandate to protect life and property and to maintain law and order will be compromised. So, yeah, what can we say about that? Because you see, everything that Cash was saying here about respect life, it looks to me, that correspondence, sorry, Cash, could you mute your mic? If two mics are open at the same time, I think the listeners are having a bit of an earache. Let's do our best to ensure that if it's not your turn to speak, your mic is muted. Thank you. So the point I was trying to make was that in that letter that I've just read out, or part of it, it actually states that the reasons for why they actually state that the piece of land that they were requesting to hold a rally is not suitable, and they're doing their best to preserve life. They mentioned a whole lot of things like water, sewer facilities. Surely you can understand that. I mean, surely, yes, I mean, you are reading that yourself. How would you feel about it? This is why we opened the space. Let's discuss it. Because Cash, the only reason I brought it up is because Cash, you were talking about let's respect life, let's consider life. And I feel kuti that letter in itself iri kutaura kuti uda preserve a life. So Muruku, are you agreeing with it or not? Hulu. So I don't know who wants to take that on board. Please go.
Okay. So let me start by saying that, Mr. Cash, in terms of technology and your access to information, I don't know whether you have ever voted in Zimbabwe. Yes, we do also, like in Canada where you are, we do also have access to checking our names on the voters' roll. We can check it on the phone, exactly as you do it in Canada. So it is not something very different. In fact, Zimbabwe, in terms of its election conduct, despite the attacks that we get from the UK and embassies of Europe and others, we run an extremely efficient election process. I want you to look at what happened in Kenya and what happened in Nigeria, and you can compare that with the manner in which we run our elections. Our elections are extremely efficient as compared to many African countries. That I can guarantee you. Right. Then, with regards to the police conduct, I want again to remind our viewers, our listeners, that you see, the police are not machines. Again, the police are human beings like you and me. ZANU PF does have some of its rallies being denied by the police. But ZANU PF people do not have time to twerk on social media by submitting on social media information where they have been denied by the police, because the police has got rules in terms of how do you run a rally and giving you an opportunity, the time frames and things like that. So you would not expect a ZANU PF. ZANU PF people are serious people who are looking to win an election. They are not there to show off on social media and complain at any given opportunity. We are aware of many instances where people became violent at rallies, at CCC rallies even. Of course, we spoke about the issue of Kwekwe, where they talk about this and that, this and that. But there are many videos circulating on social media where we saw when they were fighting at Harvest House, a group of people came at Harvest House and they were being addressed again. It was part of, a group being led by Advocate Nelson Chamisa. We saw it in Buhera when there was also a grouping of people where an address was supposed to be done by the opposition. And people will start complaining, how did it happen that Madam Coupe almost got bent in a heart? Where were the police? We have incidences of the Vanguard. The Vanguard, which was, led by Mkoy. And you saw what they were doing in terms of the notion they are in the opposition. They want to give a fight to ZANU PF and give a fight to anybody that disagrees with their view. The police themselves do not. We always find people talk about the police don't have the equipment, they do not have the capacity, and sometimes when people end up getting killed and getting injured, people blame the police. But people have to understand that whenever Advocate Nelson Chamisa is conducting a rally, he is in tour with the SABC. He wants external people to find ways of attacking ZANU PF, of blaming the government at any given opportunity. And the police are aware of that. They are aware of how difficult it can be to control a CCC rally if it bubbles up into chaos. You saw what happened to Shibaya. Shibaya, Shibaya, he went to Bulawayo, and then there was a fracas there. He got injured, and people started saying he was beaten up by ZANU PF. There is the issue now of Obey Shara, who was lured. Now it is on the news now, to Belvedere at night, going to some other thing at night, and he got beaten up there, got injured, and they say it is ZANU PF. The police do not have all the necessary capacity at all the time to allow a CC rally, which is an opposition rally, people who are geared towards exposing the government to, negatively, towards saying something negative about the government at any given moment, to allow them to go to Chilonga in Chirezi, and they stay there at Chilonga up until in the wee hours of the night. And people die there, and they are going to go to the SABC, they go to the UK Parliament to talk about that. You see, they don't do that in Zambia. They don't do that in Malawi. They don't do that in South Africa. You will never hear the embassy of the United States tweeting about violence in South Africa, even though more people die there during elections than at any given moment in Zimbabwe. So the police themselves are aware that the opposition rallies are much more difficult to deal with if they are allowed to run without order. But who would expect that, a rally where the president of Zimbabwe would bubble up into chaos? Because the president already has the army with him. He's protected by bodyguards and the army. And these are the people who are in
Sorry,
charge of the country.
Hulu,
Yes.
can I converse with you?
Yes.
You know, I heard this is the second time I'm hearing someone who supports ZANU PF saying that Triple C rallies are known to be violent and whatnot. And so, okay, if that is really true, so shouldn't the police concentrate on being there at Triple C rallies rather than the ZANU PF rallies? Why is there need for so much police force when it comes to ZANU PF rallies, who you're saying Kuti they are peaceful, and then the Triple C, which you're saying Kuti they are not, they can be violent according to you? You are not having the police going there. Police are supposed to go there if that truly is the case. So
That is
why are we
why
not seeing that
that is
then?
exactly what the police do. That is why you find that the
No, but
police,
that's not what they're doing. They're going to
when they don't have capacity, the police will inform that gathering that they do not have the capacity, Bosalani. So if they don't have the capacity, they will always inform. When they are understaffed, they do not have the capacity. In some of those letters that you are reading, you see that the police will mention that they do not have the capacity to look after people who are congregating in a bush and in an area where there are no facilities for which some things can happen. You can have people being raped, there women being raped in the bushes, and the police do not have that capacity to
no,
deal with
you're
that.
you're using
He's
sorry, sorry, sorry,
sensational.
sorry. Hold on. Cash, I know you're itching. Hold on, my brother. I wanted to ask you, Hulu, because you're using a specific letter which had to do with the underdeveloped to Yuanditi. Let's go to the Chiredzi letter. When we're speaking, ngatitaure kuti tiri kumention which letter, because I've tagged it up there. There's the Chiredzi, Bindura, Chivi, Nezaka letters which have come from the police. So let's mention which one we're dealing with, because I see you're trying to use one to kind of feed into what you're saying right now. Ko Yanzi Kunzi event has clashed. Let's go to Chiredzi. The event is said to have clashed with another ZANU PF, a minister sort of event in a minister, right? So ipapo kana muchiti zvinhu zvinoitwa zvezanu zviri peaceful, why not go, why not focus your attention more on the Triple C one then, if Triple C truly is, as you're saying, sort of the violent kind, the bad child, the violent child? Go ahead, Hulu.
All right. I hope you can hear me because you admitted us. So you see, in our town of Chiredzi, what happened was that there was a gathering that we needed to have at Tovani Township, Tovani Stadium, which is also the same name that is given to our township. The biggest township in Chiredzi is called Tovani, and even the headman there is headman Tovani. So what happened is that there is a new clinic. The government has been opening clinics all over the place, and people needed to gather there to celebrate clinics on the same day. And this habit, like I told you, of the CCC, they never communicate in advance. So they wanted to also have their own gathering at the same stadium, because the stadium is obviously the most suitable stadium in town. And then the police just simply told them that please come another day. But remember, Chamisa needed to go to Zaka. He needed to go to Bikita the next day. He needed to go somewhere else. So it became, he appeared as if he has been denied the opportunity to conduct his rally at Chiredzi. He was never, disallowed from doing so. We had a clinic we needed to open, and we needed to gather there at Tovani to celebrate the opening of a clinic. And he wants to run his own rally. That's why I was waiting for him, you see, so that the next time he's coming, you saw on Twitter, he said, okay, we will be coming back to Chiredzi at some point. He's welcome to come. And I want those who are on Twitter to know that we will be approaching Nelson Chamisa I hope his bodyguards are ready. We'll be approaching him so that we can be able to ask him the question. What happened in the last rally when you say that we did not allow you to have a rally in Chirezi? We are going to be asking him clear questions in terms of his data politics and everything. If he doesn't answer, it's fine. You will see it that he's refusing to answer the questions. I'm just saying that the police are doing their best. We have seen cars that have been now bought for the police so that they have greater capacity. You cannot have marauding thugs and criminal gangs, you see, hopping from one house to the other, and people do not even know where they're coming from. I can tell you many of these people that go to the police to present their documents and ask for these CC rallies to happen. These guys are not even from Chirezi. They're not from our place. We don't know them. Now they all of a sudden they come up and they go to the police to ask for permission to go to a rally, and they all of a sudden decide go door to door knocking at people's doors. That is what causes confusion. The ruling party does not do that. The ruling party has structures. The people are in the cells. They know each other. There is no need to go door to door kicking down people's doors or, hey, Chamisa is here. Hey, can you please come? Hey, the CCC is here. We don't do that because there are structures. The people know each other. They move in unison to go to a particular venue, and people will be able to be addressed in that particular venue. The CCC, unfortunately, does not do that. It is a party with no structures. So if you enter into Chirezi today, I hope if Lester Dobbs was here and another guy from Chirezi, you will not identify anybody that says, I am a CCC member or any representative of CCC in whatever capacity. So at the end of the day, you now have people who come in Chamisa's convoy. Chamisa's convoy is made up of about 100 cars, for those who do not know. It's many, many cars that it comes with. So these are the individuals who go to the police. They are strangers in Chirezi. People don't know them. You saw what happened to Amos Baya when he went to Bulawayo to try to calm down the tempers. They ended up beating him up there. And they say it's ZANU-PF. Was it ZANU-PF?
I think
No, it wasn't ZANU-PF.
Sorry, Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, prepare to let so that Cash and team go, because I see both their hands are up. So I'm guessing they want to respond.
Yes, they can come in, but these are the facts. You can even see the pictures and the videos of the individuals. We do not know them. We do not know them from Chirezi. Completely, we don't know them from Chirezi. These people that you see complaining that we have not been given an opportunity here, we have not been given an opportunity. It becomes difficult for people from Harare to just come to Chirezi and submit documents to the police in Chirezi and ask for permission to do a rally when nobody knows them. You see? That is where the problem is. Okay.
I know. Well, I love you. Anyway, with all due respect, Uru, we just had a normal, decent discussion. No pun intended, right? That's what they say. Anyway, what I was trying to say is, Uru, okay, let's say there are two events clashed, the ZANU-PF one and the CC one. Which one, how do they decide which one to go forward with? What do? Did they toss a coin in the air and say who's head, who's tail? Or what do they do? I mean, I just want to hear from you.
You're asking an easy question. CCC will never inform them in advance. Remember, they use strategic mango strategy. They will not tell them. They will just tell them 2 days before. We tell the police in advance, way in advance, even a month in advance. The police already knows there's a clinic that is going to be finished, and on the 5th, we're going to be running. Do you think the president is going to go to Chirezi without planning? Honestly, you're asking a very easy question there.
Okay, all right, yeah. I always play with easy ones. I don't want to complicate things. Anyway, the next one was this, okay. In the event...
Aiwa, Cash, uri kufana kuvunza kuti ko pane yakanzi the Triple C letter arrived on the 2nd and the ZANU-PF letter arrived on the 1st. People were sending the letters at the same time, Gap, if they arrived one after the other.
Yes, that's what I wanted to find out, but I'm going to answer.
No. There is a big difference between submitting a document requesting for a rally and planning for a rally. You people need to understand, you don't plan for a rally in 2 days. You plan for a rally in advance. Let me ask you an honest question. From his rally that he's planning right now in, where was he? In Gutu. You saw the one that he was in Gutu. When is the Chamisa's next rally? Where is it? Where is it? Do you know?
Bindura.
In Bindura, right? This is the first time that you are somebody can say something like that. But when he was in Chirezi, did you know where was his next destination? You wouldn't know. The president.
Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, Hulu. Dr. Skumi, I see a request to speak, but I can't see who it is. So,
All right. I was going to speak, but
no, Cash, you can still speak. I'm just trying to tell Skumi, are you there? There's a request to speak, but I can't see it on my end. Yeah,
it seems
thank
like
you.
I think it's the request from Dr. Skumi himself, because I don't think he still has the
okay.
mic. So you need
All
to
right.
you need to drop him and give him up again. You need to remove him from the co-host
All right.
and give him back the co-host.
All right. What I was trying also to say is, okay, because of the, I don't know, you were saying there's a place that they needed to CC to have a rally, but because
yes,
there's no proper role, there's no proper
difference between planning.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Later,
I'm not talking about. Yes, I'm talking about the letter from the police. They say there's no clear roads, there's no facilities, water, whatever, right? But did the police give an option? Say, you know what, guys, you can't have it here. You can have it here.
Yes, they did. You can ask Boss Solani to read that for you.
That's what I was asking.
You
can continue reading the letter, Boss Solani. Continue reading the letter.
Okay, yeah. That's what's my other question.
Which letter? Can you specify which one I should
read?
The
one they were talking about, no roads, no
things like that. At the bottom, the police explained what needs to be done. You can go and read.
Okay, it says lastly.
Yeah, listen, Cash. Yeah.
It says, lastly, your notification did not give sufficient notice to the regulatory authority as provided for in the terms of the MOPA Act. May you consider securing another suitable venue, provide sufficient notification as required. So it's not like they really directed them.
No,
the police cannot direct them in terms of where do they want to do their rally.
Yeah, that's what Cash was asking.
Can I say,
did you get your answer now?
No, I didn't. I'm not happy about the answer. Let me just say why. Because the police know where there are clear roads. They know where there are facilities. Whatever, water, whatever access, protection, what they can protect. They know it because they are from there. What they're supposed to do is, okay, you can't do it on this area. You can do it on this area.
My friend,
because
what are you
they know,
talking about?
They know. How can they deny somebody? How can they deny somebody that it's not good? Do they know where it's good, right?
The police in Canada.
Sorry. You guys, you're not allowing me now. I don't think that's actually the police responsibility. I guess that's why Muchita are aspiring candidates. They're supposed to know kunoita nekusingaite. Police already have got a lot of work they have to sort out. Vachita peace and all that jazz, or attempting to. So I feel if we are to say the police should know, it's not their job. It's the job of those who are campaigning to look and go. Usually vana vaite zvemasevhere kuti munoenda kunotarisa first the place before you send in a location and all that jazz. Ndo mafungira angu zvangu. But for us to say that that's the responsibility of police, I think it's a bit too far-fetched.
All right. Having said that, right, but we know that this is not the first time the rallies has been held in that province or in that city or in that town, right? They already know how they're going to deploy their police, their security. So you can't tell me they're ignorant about everything unless this is the first time the rally has ever been held in that town. Let's not lie to each other. The police is supposed to have a spreadsheet that says this is events that's going to come in our community or in our city this day, Saturday or Friday, whatever. They should have that spreadsheet that says what's going to happen, so that when people are trying to apply and say, you know what, we need to do an event in this place, they'll say, no, look, there's an event already registered in the system that is going to take place. So you can't tell me they're ignorant about where a safe place is with facility.
Okay,
Right?
I get you. So,
You get
Cash,
my point, right? Yes.
Cash, what you're saying is, if their letter was stipulating that there's no water, there's no toilet, sewers, facilities, and whatnot, that means they're very aware of that location, right? So it also means that they would also be aware of which others, the suitable places. I get what you're saying, but I feel also, isn't it the responsibility of the ones who've been responded to, Triple C in this case, to write to them and ask for clarity or an example of which sort of venue would be more suitable, since they seem to have looked at all those kind of things? Would that make sense? Cash.
Yes, that's what I was trying to. That was my point. My to say,
Saka
you know
aiwa,
what?
saka ari kufanira kunyorera kandi vanhu vapiwa response vanofanira kuita right back to the police if they need to clarify or to need to.
I love how Hulu is keep referring back to Canada. I wish I could invite you, brother, here towards the elections, and then you can see how things are done. Maybe you could take those ideas and also tell the government and the people, hey, we could do better in this area. We could improve in this area, because it seems as though you're saying in Canada, this other way, in Canada, right? So in other words, next time when I come to the space, I'll come with an audio that tells how process is done here for me, myself, to vote, how I verify and everything in the day and everything. So you can actually see how things are done. I'm not putting down anything. I'm just saying we have also a room to improve, right? I'm just saying in a nice way. We got a room to improve. This is the area we could solve to remove these problems, Anyway, I can land here.
There is a difference between Canada and Zimbabwe, because Canada is where Canada is, and to honestly think that we need to learn anything from Canada, you are forcing me to end up using that, or those words that were used by our president to refer to these colonizers, in Shona. So I'm not going to go there, Cash, but let me tell you this. I have told you that you have seen elections in Kenya, you have seen elections in Nigeria, in our region. And when you compare that with the elections in Zimbabwe, what is your take? You see Zimbabwe is yards ahead of all these countries. The only thing is that they target us. They target us for reasons known to themselves. They attack us for reasons known to themselves. There was not one instance where you
Sorry,
have
guys,
had the
there's an echo. If you
CCC.
keep on muting, Cash, pane echo
Yeah.
irikubvako, please.
There is not even a single instance of any rally where you have seen violence at the CC's rally and the CCC owned up to that violence and said, this is our violence. We are saying to our people, please do not do this. Amos Shibaya went to Bulawayo not so long ago, got beaten up there by people who were complaining about the nomination processes. We have not heard anything from the CCC and its supporters where they condemned such acts. So what we are saying is CCC is on this trajectory of precisely demonizing the country, precisely advancing this whole idea that the police in Zimbabwe are disorganized. Ask yourself, have we started running elections now? How many rallies have been running in Zimbabwe since 1980 from opposition political leaders? Morgan Tsvangirai has been running rallies after rally. Him, Nelson Chamisa, was he today? He was in Gutu with a large group of people. There was no sign of any interference from any police. They know the rules that are required for them to hold a rally. I want to tell you, in Chirezi, which is the area which we know, you remember the results of 2018. It was in Chirezi North, it was 38,600 versus less than 1,000 for Nelson Chamisa. Now, going back to Chirezi, where you know you have very few supporters, you need to cook up a story so that, people can buy into your story as an excuse of not going back there. The police simply said on the 5th, we had another gathering where we needed to open a clinic. You can do it on the next day. He chose to go to Bikita. He chose to go to Zaka. Then today he is in Gutu. Gutu is not very far from Chirezi. He can come back if he wants. He doesn't want to come back. You know why? He knows that we are going to allow him, and I'm going to be questioning him on camera about the same issues which he's saying, oh no, we were not allowed. And you will see that there are no people there. So the problem with our information, us as people, is that we have not been able to provide that information to the people nicely. The CCC has a habit of always presenting wrong information to the public in order to provide a certain narrative. But I will not allow it in Chirezi. We are going to make sure that our cameras are ready when he comes. We show the people exactly what is happening. So you understand when I'm telling, in his own convoy, he has got over 100 cars in his own convoy. Will that come with him? And you tell me that will be empty convoy? No, it will be loaded with people. The same people who take documents to the police to ask for permission to hold a rally in Chirezi where they have no structures, they have nobody there. Now they start moving around Tshovani Township, asking people to join their rally to Tshovani Township. Now, you see that is a difference with Harare. In Harare, you already have some CCC supporters, non-CCC supporters. So when he wants to run a rally there, they congregate easily. This is different when you come to Chirezi, to a place like Chirezi. There are very, very few people there that subscribe. You can ask Dobbs if you come when you get him onto the rally. You can ask Shining. You can ask the other guy there. Nobody is associated with CCC in our area. So that is what you need to understand. So
all right,
calm.
I hear you. I hear
calm
you.
because I will be showing you the evidence, of course.
All right, I got one thing to I got one thing to correct quick. Canada has never interfered in Zimbabwean politics. He has never said anything. So don't associate Canada with America. I just wanted to correct that, please.
Okay, can we hear? Sorry, Mama Shubs has just as we joined us, but I feel since we heard from Hulu, we kind of need to hear from someone from Tim Go, and then we'll go to you, Mama Shubs. Go ahead, Tim Go.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Cash and Hulu, for speaking. Yeah, I mean, Hulu, I think that one of the last things you said there, you said CCC has a habit of spreading, misinformation. But if we're going to be honest here, when it comes to propaganda, I don't think CCC has got anything on ZANU-PF in that respect. But one other thing that you mentioned as well, when you were talking about CCC, you were saying they're just there, they're just opposing, and all they want to do is fight. You almost describe CCC as a rogue bunch, a rogue and desirable organization who's there for causing chaos, because you sensationalized when you started talking about it. When they go to these places, they're fighting, and there can be rapes going there happening, and it's almost like you're describing the CCC people as rabid animals, which is a bit extreme, because you have to recognize that what CCC is trying to achieve here by applying to go to these places for rallies is not to fight. They're campaigning. Chamisa, his councillors, his MPs are going to places where perhaps they are known, like you're saying, and trying to garner support and trying to win over potential voters, because it is an election season. So they have a right to be there. It's their rights, as an opposition party to do what they're doing. Another thing I was going to mention is the letter that we're referring to, where the CCC was stopped. Basically, they were informed that they couldn't be there because the conditions didn't allow, because of water and toilet facilities. I find it beggars belief, to be honest, that at this stage in an election campaign, a party like the CCC would not be aware of suitable locations for rallies, and conditions that are suitable for the locations that would be approved by the ZRP, unless the CCP itself, CCC itself, has employed people in their provinces who are completely out of their depth, and because surely you should have a checklist of what is required, what if we're going to be approved in Mapurisa and you look, okay, we've got a checklist. Okay, should we provide my toilets? If there's no water, what can we a checklist? So you think, well, is this for real? Or if for example, ZANU-PF had said they were going to go to that area, would the police allow them to say, well, if you provide safe access, if you provide my toilets and name for people to drink, and you've got my bins and everything, yes, we can allow you. Because now we think the two things are happening. Either is the CCC failing to really manage their campaign here and picking wrong places, or are the police just plucking out excuses from left, right, center? Next thing they say with area mkuu and the bridge, apparently there's an engineer's report saying bridge will cross into the area will not be able to take a capacity of so many vehicles, so you can't go there, or they are not street lights, or is there a specific guide to what's acceptable or not acceptable? If I would think there is, if because it's always leading to CCC is falling short, It would have helped, to be honest, in such conversations if someone from the Triple C would be present to answer some questions. Say, guys, look at this letter. This letter is damning. It's embarrassing, to be honest, that the police can say these things and we can't have a rally. If someone from Triple C would be here to say, no, actually, I think the police have been unfair because of ABC. Because as it seems right now, the police will be providing these letters, and these letters, even they go to the international community, the police are right. So that's my submission, because I think it's a right to be fair. If you're a Triple C supporter, you have to look at things. Our party doing the right things here, or tungo janyirwa chet? We can't always just have blinkers. You have to look at things, think what's really going on here. At the same time, ZANU-PF, I think you have to accept that the opposition has to be respected. Even if they go out and complain internationally, it's their right, But in terms of violence, I don't think it's just Triple C. The way you've just painted that Triple C is a violent, you're painting it as it's a violent party, as if ZANU-PF akuna violence. There's lack of accountability as well from ZANU-PF. And in regards to Mapurisa, I'll speak to this again. When we say impartiality, Mapurisa, I'll speak on something that's a bit. Mapurisa Pawakano Misa kana someone like Winky D. This is not a rally, at a musician's show. The people, revelers, they're having a good time, they're going to stop a show. That in itself just proved that there was something, an undoing from Mapurisa. But why would you then stop him? The impartiality Mapurisa, it just goes away from that. That's me landing.
Oh, thank you so much, Team Go. Thank you so much. Let's go straight to Mama Shubsa, come through, and then we'll hear from Gande. I hope I've pronounced it correctly. Sorry, Shubsa and then Sigande.
Hi, Salan. Thank you so much. Long time. Hi, Ulu. Hi, everyone. Nangoya nguti ndizotaura pana Kesh apa kuti ndipindure Kesh when he said the police should actually give an alternative venue.
I love you, Mom. You show me some love every time. I love you.
Yeah, Kesh. Yeah, thank you. Kuti Mapurisa cannot give an alternative venue because CCC, they're the ones who know kuti how many people are they expecting to attend the rally, so they know kuti venue kwanisa kuti to accommodate the number of people whom they are expecting. Mapurisa would know that. Saka, I think for CCC they should have like options. Okay, this is option 1. This is option 2. And the other thing which I wanted to say has been said by Tim Go. Kuti ma facilities pama venues, I think it's their responsibility kuti wacheke kuti ma facilities anofambirana because I think kana uchibuka venue Mapurisa like after a certain number yakati this is what they expect papa that venue, and like you must have book my ambulances, things like that. Saka it's not the police's responsibility kuti wakupe alternative venue. It's for them when they go to look for the venue. Okay, this is our option 1. Kana option 1 ichinge isina kuita, then we have second option. Okay, if kana isina kuita, can we do it on another stadium or whatever? Kwete kuti mapurisa should offer that. And yeah, ndizvo zvangu zvandaichida kuti ndingotaura. Uyezve nyaya yekuti zvanzi violence, I don't know if you guys saw kune video yapostwa naLinda Masarira kuti vanhu vanonzi ibvai pano endai fambai. Those people are also going kuenda kunocampaigna. Saka this thing nyaya yekuti pamacampaigns paite violence, both sides should be stopped. Whoever anenge achiincita kana kuti vari kuita violence, that should stop. One ngavawe free to campaign, whether it's CCC, a lead, ZANU-PF, MDCT, or whatever, MDC, whatever. Vanhu ngavawe free to campaign, kwete kuti vanhu vanoita kutomanikidzwa kuti aiwa imimi musaende kurali yakati, imimi musamire pano nezvimota zvenyu izvozvi zvivhaivhai, mota dzichitemwa dzichidi. No, that's very wrong. Saka wakatanga kudaro avo wakazodzoserawo yezve kwangobuda kuti uyu mudoti akaridza pfuti, but chakange chaita kuti aridze pfuti, no one is mentioning. Zvakubuda pamavideos. Saka no, violence should be condemned either way, whether it's CCC, ZANU-PF, or no one should be allowed kuti vaite violence. Macampaign ngave peaceful. My elections auye, people will vote very peaceful, and my results aka-announced titerere peaceful and accept whatever the outcome. Kana ari Chamisa anenge awina, ZANU-PF to accept. Kana ZANU-PF yawina, ma-CCC naChamisa mo accept. Saka ndo zvatinofanira kuti tidi zvinenge zvichiitika izvozvo, kwete zvokungoti izvi ma-elections anoitwa everywhere, every country anoita ma-elections, but izvokuti vanhu vanenge vachiita kuti time yema-elections kufanira kunge kuchiita noise, vanhu vachirovana vachiitana sei. That's being hooligan. Kuita mahooligans chaiwo. Ngazvipere izvo. Vanhu ngatiendei tovhota takanyarara, totambira results muchinyararire. Anyway, thank you. I'll be listening. Zvangu ndangoya kuti ndizotaura panyaya yekuti hanzi
but Mama Shubza, environment needs to be fair. Kana ZANU ichitenderwa kubhasa vanhu, Triple C should also be afforded the same, shouldn't it?
Actually, the other thing I wanted to say kuti yekuti hanzi izvo ZANU-PF inomborambidzwa here kuita marallies. Yes, you do. Pane unozoti yakatomborambidzwa kuita kuzumba pfungwe pachitimbe.
Hatina kana kumboona inonzi statement yacho. Iri kupi statement iyo?
It's circulated. That letter wakarambidzwa kuita pachitimbe zvikanzi hanzi penge paine, I think that there was something, another event yaiitika ikarambirwa ZANU-PF kuti iite meeting yavo pachitimbe kuzumba
retweete patimeline panapa.
Itsva game chaiwanda.
Kana takutozotsvagira tingataure of one incident out of a million.
ZANU-PF is not in the business of complaining about what is happening in Zimbabwe. That's the difference that many people do not understand. Now, the CCC is in that business of complaining
with all due respect.
Sorry, everybody. Speakers, let's also remember we've got listeners. We want them to hear what's going on. So one at a time, please give each other a chance. And remember, we also have a speaker who hasn't spoken after Mama Shubza. Thank you. Sorry, Mama Shubza, go ahead.
Okay, let me just land. Okay, izvozvo zviri kutaurwa naUlu. That's the other thing yekuti ZANU-PF, because one of my structures, the people in that area, they're the people who organize, because vanotoziva and they know kuti kana uchienda kunobhuka what's needed. Vanotanga vatonotarisa venue yacho kuti saka apa kana tiri kuuya nemablay toilets edu tinenge tichikwanisa kuaisa apa nepapa, kwete kungoenda ngoti tiri kuda venue kunhingirikene kuchinotimba kana kuti tikuda venue papi usina kutarisa. Saka CCC should get used to that, kuti munhu wemuarea sezvo they've got vanhu kama aspiring candidates avo that area, they should know the area, kuti area yakamira yakadai yakadai, woenda unotarisa kuti aiwa apa panoita apa apaite. Saka ZANU-PF zvaunotanza hairambirwa, because watojaira, they cannot actually birambirwa kuti wasaite iwo wauya nezvinhu zvese zvakakwana, watarisa wanyatsoona kuti aiwa this is the right place, kwete ngoti uyezve CCC nyaya yavo yekuve secretive yo yekuti tikataura tinozodi kunozouya wawenga. I don't know kuti vanoziva sei wawenga vanouya kumarallies yokuti vanoda kuita everything in last minute, kuti secretive everything in last minute. Saka ndo zvinozoita kuti nelast minute motosvika kuti aiwa kuground kuya kwatotorwa nevamwe vanhu kana kuti suitable place.
With all due respect, amuona kuti ground harisi even here, because somebody is ruling, has all the structures, has everything, he knows all the directions in the world, in the country. CCC is trying to break through. It's not fair.
This is what I said. CCC, if they had my structures, one way at that area, weikoko hazvina kuti uyu anga ari kutonga, even if ari kutonga ningirikini Mnangagwa, he won't know kuti kuzumba apa pakamira pakadai apa pakadai. Ndotaura kuzumba because ndokumusha kwangu, but if munhu anenge ari the candidate yekuzumba is the one who knows. Saka CCC munhu awari because they want to impose people from, or they take somebody from Bulawayo to come and be a candidate in Mrewa. Saka munhu yayo won't know kuti kwamrewa kune kwakamira sei. Ngavatsvake munhu wemuarea imomo, if that person is an aspiring candidate wemamrewa, anoziva Mrewa, anoziva kuti apa pakadai apa pakadai, that person is responsible of sourcing the place yekuti vaitire rally yavo.
My other question is, why did we give the executive powers for the police to decide who should hold a rally or not? Police are supposed to be informed, not be asked to give a permission. I don't know. But how did we come to that point?
Where we want to hear from Sidan as well. From Sidange. Can we hear from Sidange as well, Cash?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mama
you,
should that. Oh, my turn. But Muruku Kasike Kutiza. Sorry, next speaker, please go ahead.
Then ndakarara usikuzwa ere voice ndadzikira kuhope ndadzwa voice yakeshi ndoyandimutsa voice rakeshi.
I'm loved. Nobody
Zalani and Basta Goldie is with us as well.
Basta is refusing to grab the mic.
You must send him a mic. You must give him a mic because Basta.
Sorry, let's hear from the next new speaker.
It's
please
to
come through.
Sometimes. All right.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes, we can. Thank you for coming.
Okay, I was listening. I just said a question, but I think that question has been asked already. I was going to ask if it was ZANU-PF, was the police going to stop them as well? I guess it has been asked, and the answer is still hanging. And
they haven't given us the answer for that. I don't know why. It's not.
Yeah. And on the other hand, I just want to say CCC knows exactly how ZANU-PF works. The police, they know that the police is going to stop them. If it was Mnangagwa, they were not going to stop them.
Dange, can you ask your question again? Sorry, the first one. I didn't hear it.
Okay, so my question was, if it was ZANU-PF, were the police going to stop them? That was my first question, but like I said, it has been asked and the answer was still hanging. And then I moved on from there. I was saying also CCC, they know exactly how the game is. They should be prepared. They shouldn't be facing these things. They should go prepared. That's it from me.
Borsalani, you see, if it was ZANU-PF, would the police stop them? ZANU-PF has got structures. How many times do we need to tell you? They know exactly what the police want. The police have got rules. The police are not a disorganized group of school kids. You know, Baba Chiesa, ABM, what he normally says, KidsNet. So what happens is that, you see, even Nelson Chamisa himself, he knows what needs to be done for his rally to go ahead. He knows it. So if they choose that they don't want to follow the rules because Sophie Mkwena is driving with them so that she can send the video to SABC, who is going to blame them? Because Sophie Mkwena is waiting for that kind of news. She's waiting for news where the CCC looks like a victim. You understand what I'm saying? The UK embassy, Makomborero Harusiveshe, is looking for asylum in the UK. He needs some news from Zimbabwe so that he can be able to have the access to the asylum. Do you expect Makomborero to sign the documents properly? By no means. By no means. So when they go to court, for example, Cecilia goes to court, Joanna goes to court, they complain. And when they are acquitted, they complain. When they are allowed to have a rally in Gutu, they complain. When they are not allowed to have a rally in Chireti, they complain. So there is nothing that ZANU-PF can do because Sophie Mkwena is looking for news from the SABC. The SABC does not want to hear good news from Zimbabwe. Makomborere is looking for news from Zimbabwe. The UK Parliament, Kurt Hoy, as well as this other guy, the other gay guy, I've forgotten his name. They are looking for, Pius Pigo and the other one. They are looking for negative news about Zimbabwe, including Stephen Chan. We had the highest tobacco crop, and he says the tobacco in Zimbabwe is low quality. You know, we also wheat. He was commenting on wheat again now. He says that the wheat is not of good quality. You see, there's nothing that ZANU-PF can do to make the opposition happy. Whatever they do is wrong. If they go to court, it is wrong. If they get acquitted, it is wrong. If they report a false abduction, it is wrong. So now what they want is the police to throw away the books and say, okay, have your rally in Chirezi. Then they go all the way to Chilonga, where there are no proper roads at night. Women get raped in the streets. You see, at the end of the day, they say there were 10 women who were raped by ZANU-PF. You have seen what happened when this one went to observe. I mean, Dr. Mtodi, he went to observe a rally for CCC. He was chased by people in full view of everyone. And what did they say? ZANU-PF is wrong. Mutodi was firing bullets in the air. That's what they said. Obey Shaba, he went at night to Belvedere. At night, having been hoodwinked by, you know what happens at night. He went there, got beaten up and everything. Now they say it is ZANU-PF. Pastor Gold is with us. He's going to tell you that even when he fails to get his salary in the UK, it is because of ZANU-PF. That is what he's going to tell you. And that, guys, we must stop it. The rally is happening already now in Gutu. You see, no one has
but
the police
Hulu,
are
order, Hulu, order. That one was a dig at Buster, wasn't it?
No, I was joking with him. I was just joking.
I
was joking with Buster. He knows it.
I know
Buster,
that
I was joking with you regarding the salary. I know you earn a lot of money, my friend. And yeah, you are a good guy. Yeah, you work hard.
Good guy. I'm not queen.
Let me kick him back on the balls. Right. Can I kick back now?
No, he got still balls. They're still. You can't break.
Welcome to the space, Buster.
Yeah. You know what? Shungo Zatina I always listen to you, Hulu. You're so passionate, and sometimes this is the reason why I say last time you like listening to yourself, even though uchinyatozozia kuti ndrugo zvinyenga munzeve ndakukopera padare. What you do is like unopinda mushop obva watenga trophy obva printer star rako kuti Hulu first, first position or the winner. Uchazozodzwa kuti hauna tournament wakatamba yakawina. What do I mean by this? Hulu knows that chokwadi, but you've got no choice, which is really sad that like I said, shungu dzaunadzo shandisa the correct way. In everything what you've said, the problem is you don't bring.
Immigration
Awa wanetotangane kesi. Cash, uri kutaura kunoku kana kuti utaura zvimwe? I don't know what's going on. Iwe Cash, it's Buster speaking. Hold on, please. Sorry, Buster, carry on.
Yeah. So I'm saying all these people, right? When you listen to them, shungu, but along the way they forget one thing. In whatever you've said, Hulu, there's no fact where we can dig and find the information. But I can challenge you. I always challenge you. You know that. Let me just respond to a few things around Butala Butanga. You spoke about Nya Isha Zikomborero. What has been said in the House of Lords, it's true. Jobs Kala, what he's going through in a normal country shouldn't be going through what he's going through. And one thing you forget is Anaketi Hoya. They were on the ground. They know the inside and outside of ZANU-PF operations. Sakakuna Shinyoan, when he speaks, when he wears the ZANU-PF, the scarf, it's okay. You don't have a problem with that. But when the lady speaks, what exactly is happening on the ground, that's where you miss it. Monofunga kuti this outside world they don't know, but the embassies, my diplomats who can see what is happening on the ground and feed to their countries. But this is exactly what is happening, which is unfortunate because the events which were being discussed or raised, the issues which are being raised, hapana any fabrication. They are all true. This is what is happening. Every Zimbabwean is talking about the same thing. Then you spoke about, these girls. We all know they were being cleared. Nema court said, yes, fair enough. But Tanga, we all know they don't have any case, these girls. There were some videos which were being created, Ulu, to crucify these girls. But the court found it. What's your comment on that? Are you going to say the government has to apologize because Mbikiro Yawakaitai, Mbikiro just to crucify these girls? There was no case. And we know why it has been done this way. Because ZANU-PF, they know how to play this game for quite a while. To use the courts so that, we're not going to left talk to right? So that, they do this deliberate so that they can use the argument to say, the same courts which cleared these girls, which a case. Now you're complaining, it's a well-calculated move. We all know. We're not stupid. But let me quickly fast forward to the issue of Ramsora. Kanochiza history ZANU-PF, you would understand with ZANU-PF what it stands for and the operations of ZANU-PF. From 1980, and my comments on this post, I want you to walk with me, Wulu. I can refer you where you can take the information. 1980, we see the violence, the massacre, we don't want to go back there because assault by my wounds. Then fast forward, we had testimonies within the system, the inside. Jim Kunaka. She testified the way they were operating within ZANU-PF and how they do it. Temba Mliskwa, there's a post as well.
But now,
hold on, yeah, hold on. Ashitaura kuti ZANU-PF asimafanis muno vanitwa sakambona within the ZANU-PF. If you remember very well, what's his name?
You're going off topic.
Nyaya Jonathan Moore, you would understand zvakaitwa paku, these guys, the way they were treated, they were criminals. Yes, we are. But the question is it the correct way or approach this one? To deal with that issue, because surely these guys, they could have arrested them. Very easy, then they could answer for themselves. But what do the ZANU-PF do? They use violence to prove the point. Nasuno, ukaenda kune ma victims akauraiwa ne-ZANU-PF, you can find the book in my names. But ukaenda the opposite, maybe, don't get me wrong, you get few ones vakaitwa the opposite, maybe vakauraya the opposition, maybe kudzoserana. But the list of the people who died in the hands of this ZANU-PF or the political the list is endless. I'm telling you, Hulu, my name's Aripo. If you cannot, Hulu, I can challenge you. You cannot come up with 10 names. Even wakaura on Triple C, ZANU-PF, wakaura on Triple C. I know unukwansa kuzubika, but for Triple C wakaura on ZANU-PF, you can dig, you can find the names. So mungazi rambe zvenyu, Hulu, you know, you don't have the leg to stand on right now. ZANU-PF, knows that I chadiwa. Even when I started to buzzed, there's a woman akaforced mukadzi wechikuru. I think you've seen a video. I started to say taforceredzwa kunzi tafunga tiri kunzi toenda kuma sanction demonstration, but tazosamisika takuenda kunhamo. I think angeri nhamo ya relative yamunangagwa here. Zvitonzi hanzi handina chandadya, ndine BP, all this and that. This is the ZANU-PF. Unonzi idya, you don't have a choice.
But now it's another. You are now talking of something else now, Brasa.
No. I'm just driving your operations. How you deal with things. Imimuri is so violent. Surely, Yulu, you know the truth. ZANU-PF is so violent, and this is why your VP.
Are you saying CCC is not violent?
This is your VP. Your VP has got the guts to say. Triple C Kwanya Kunke Inda. This is the why you guys have the guts to put a Chamisa
and the guys to say troublesome baboons. We are going to deal with troublesome baboons.
Sorry, 1 second, gentlemen. Hulu, I just saw Ruramai requesting. I pressed the ad, but I can't see her now. So if you could DM her, please, because I didn't remove her or anything. Duto Mshaya, I can't see her on the listeners. So if you could DM her and ask her, because I'm trying to add her. As you can see, I don't have a co-host, so I might need some assistance there, guys. Team, go.
Yeah, so you can come and drag Triple C to equalize to say they've got no structures, this and that, just trying to bring them in the equation. But the truth of the matter, it's unfortunate that we've got a party, which claims could do anyone, treat everyone in such a way. This is why guns.
Okay, but
so on these facts, right? Now challenge. The laws. Is it not true? No matter this I can also bring it. Is it true or is it false? Firstly, do they get an apology? Do you think they should get do you think they should get an apology of this creation Yamaka Itai just to fabricate the whole thing? Because they've been cleared by court. And they knew there was no case. And my events under Taura within ZANU-PF and there's a on Jim Kunaka. What's your comment on that when he was giving testimony? And so that would jump all those things.
All right.
To be fair,
firstly,
do justice.
Pastor. Firstly, I want to say that what happened in the UK Parliament was something that we expected. The UK Parliament will always tell you that Zimbabwe is a bad country, everything negative. But you have never had at any moment Kate Hoy, Pius Pigo, and that other one, talking about the good things about Zimbabwe. ABM, sometimes, people say, oh, but you continue repeating yourself on these points. But ABM always mentions that you will never hear them talk about the tobacco, harvest in Zimbabwe, the wheat harvest in Zimbabwe, the gold output in Zimbabwe, the airport in Zimbabwe, and all these other things that we have seen that have happened in Zimbabwe. You will never hear them talk about it. Now, so they only talk about one narrative. That is a narrative where they say ZANU-PF is not good. And that same narrative is what is propagated by CCC people. So if a rally in Chirezi did not qualify to be given the go-ahead, do you expect Makomborero sitting in the UK asking for asylum to get news? Do you expect Sophie Mkwena, having driven all the way from South Africa, to get any news for the SABC? She will have no news. They have to create the news. They have to create drama so that there is
No, but
news for these people. No. Listen.
No. Is that true or false? Is that true or false? And
right, but I'm explaining to you now.
No. You're going all the way.
Yeah. Listen, what I'm saying is at the CCC rallies, there is one running already today in Gutu. No issues. They followed all these, the things that are required by the police. In Chirezi, they knew they don't have supporters. They have to create drama. I told you already, they submitted documents at the same time that a clinic was supposed to be opened and wanted to use the same venue. And the people who went to the police at the Chirezi police station to submit those documents were not Chirezi people. Then after they did that, they went door to door in Tsovani Township, knocking at people's doors, and President Chamisa auya tinokumbira kuti muye kuTsovani Township. You see, that is what they were saying. Now, that in itself becomes disruptive to people. And the police cannot handle that because CCC is there to try to portray a negative image of Zimbabwe. And of course, as information comes in, you realize that indeed this CCC political party is looking for such kind of information. As for Jim Kunaka and what he said and blah, 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 you saw Amos Shibaya was in Bulawayo, was beaten up in Bulawayo just recently. Amos Shibaya, and was having wounds all over his head. And initially they said it's ZANU-PF. Now they are quiet. No comment, no whatsoever. You will never hear them in the UK Parliament talking about it. You will never hear the embassy talking about it. So you need to understand that ZANU-PF is not God. ZANU-PF is a political party that can make mistakes, but there is no way where you can point out to say, look, in South Africa, we are not having the same challenges. During elections in South Africa next year, I want you to count how many people are going to die. You cannot even compare that with what happens in Zimbabwe. Look at what happened in Kenya in their own elections, their own rallies in Nigeria. Zimbabwe is way ahead in terms of efficiency. So a party that does not have structures, which does not want to follow simple instructions from the police, simply because they want drama, is not a party that you can pin on ZANU-PF and say, look, ZANU-PF is bad. And already Bosalani read the letter. The letter clearly states that the place which you are intending in Bindura to have your rally is not suitable. Doesn't have toilets, doesn't have all these amenities. Tell us a suitable place so that we can allow you to go to that place. Is that wrong? It is not wrong. ZANU-PF is organized, it plans its rallies way ahead of time. They know that we are going to have a rally in Tsovani Township in Chirezi. 30 days before the rally, we are already organizing ourselves in our sales. We don't walk around knocking at people's doors because we know each other. If you go to Chirezi right now, nobody is going to stand up and say, I'm a CCC member. Chamisa comes with a trolley of people in 100-car pile-up. You get what I mean? The same people who are now going to be going knocking at people's doors, hey, Chamisa Awia, and you are told that he doesn't bus any people. Have you counted how many cars are in his convoy? Have you counted how many SUVs and bakkies full of people? You know how many bodyguards he was having? His bodyguards are almost 50 of them. Now you come to tell people that, no, this is that. You saw him addressing people on top of a bakkie, a truck. You know, he jumped on
ndafunga
top
kuti
of
uri
a truck.
kuti bhagi unozva pawati bhagi ndafunga kuti bhagi prema. All right, continue.
Yeah, on top of a truck. He was addressing his people on top of a truck. They put a big cloth there, which they pulled from another old woman's house, and they spread it on top of that truck. And then he jumps on top of it. He starts talking to the people. Is that order? Is that a clear sign of planning? That is poor planning. You cannot force ZANU-PF to plan for you. ZANU-PF cannot hand over power to Nelson Chamisa simply because you love Nelson Chamisa. ZANU-PF is in competition.
No.
Just know that, bastard.
No.
So I hope I have answered all your questions.
You never answered.
All right, it's fine. The other speakers,
the way
fine. There are many new speakers who have joined us, and they need to be given a chance to speak now. The bastard.
Yeah, but
yes, ZANU-PF is not going to hand over power to you.
Yeah,
ZANU-PF will not hand over power to you. Okay, Pastor, please allow other people to speak. So, Bosalani and Tim Go, thank you. No, Pastor, you are still going to come back to speak. Why do you have to interject? Because other people are waiting to speak. I don't want to be speaking forever because you want me.
Yeah, don't. I think you speak more than me, Hulu. Because
of course, but you cannot expect me to go and get a trophy in a shop and write on Chamisa's name #1 when he has not competed in anything. Do you understand? Sorry, I won't do that.
I know he did on purpose.
Mama Shusa.
A quick one. Hulu asataenda. Ndoda kuti umtaure kuti if he believes what Jim Kunaka say, so they can as well believe what Ndingirikini Linda Basarire says what was happening with the MDCA Nana Chamisa Wao. Saga, if they believe Jim Kunaka, they can as well believe Ndingirikini Linda Masari.
Makosora oga. Mazono dazus kubuda zvamuda kuedza kuita. It doesn't work in that way. You cannot really equate.
Linda, ndatoka chizwa nezvandiri kunwa panapa.
No.
Linda haana kutaura here kuti taita so tichiita so maAmericans achiuya achidai achiti ofa chichichi kuMDCA.
Kana ivo vakatoseka paLinda paakatakaita 10 down 2 million. We all know Linda. Don't.
So who doesn't know Jim Kunaka? Who doesn't know Jim Kunaka?
But who should should. So you're telling Kuti Zimbabweans can easily dismiss Shakatarana Jim Kunaka? Where Jim Kunaka is well known?
Why shouldn't people believe what Linda said? If you want to believe what Jim says.
What did Linda say?
But there are new speakers already now, and Bosalani, I think we need to hear also from other people who will be able to respond to Basta.
Last question, Olu. What did you? Well, you didn't respond about the girls. Kuti.
I'll be responding about the girls. I answer all your questions. Don't worry. I'll be responding when my
all right.
comes.
Okay.
Let's
Thank you for recognizing we've got other speakers. Okay, I'm going to go in the order that they joined in. So Ruramai, please, and then we'll have Simbi and then Chimama in that order. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Thank you, Boss Salani, for hosting a space and stuff like that. When election comes up, there's some people who tend to use propaganda in order to suit themselves. And when you don't have natural supporters, at the moment I see Chamisa doing a one-man band. It's not really cool. There's not much communication between him because he doesn't have, in terms of the structures, to build something that's actually concrete. So a person who's stretching straws will look for every excuse in the book in order to be a victim. At the moment, Zimbabwe is very peaceful, and I want it to stay that way. And I feel that some people there are trying their best to say ZANU-PF is doing things in according with the police. But most police officers in Zim vote for the opposition. They voted overwhelmingly for CCC or for MDC-A in terms of 2018 election, which was a BT seat, which is a Higher East, right? So to me, when we have scaremongers coming up saying Chamisa cannot hold a rally, and then you're looking at the excuse in terms of why he can't hold a rally in Bindura where he wants to hold it, it's like somehow they don't want to take responsibility for not booking their own venue places in advance, so they want to blame the police for not allowing them to do what they want to do. So therefore, it's a bit problematic. So I feel like when you're scaremongering and you're using, there's a word for it in English, I forgot it now, right? The one who cries wolf will cry wolf again. But at the moment, the election fever is not even hitting Zimbabwe, as many people would want to think. Yeah, it's only 47 days to go. We're still waiting for passenger 34 to come aboard. And 47 days is not a lot of days in political landscape for you to be president of Zimbabwe. So therefore, in terms of Chamisa's campaign, it's very warm, lukewarm. It's lacking a lot of things. It's lacking a lot of people who helped him. So in a way, for him to leave MDCA, he has lost a lot of traction. And the only machine that's actually moving forward is ZANU-PF. And I think because of the progression in terms of what we have delivered to the people of Zimbabwe, and they're actually saying, you know what, we have not had this, we've not had a dam, we've not had